Okay. Okay, welcome back, everyone. It's now 12:50 p.m. on July the 14th, 2026. This is we're resuming our specially called meeting that was posted on July the 10th, 2026 at 2:47 p.m. on the courthouse steps, as well as our website, all in pursuant to the Texas Open Records Meeting Act and Texas Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551. So with that, we have a quorum of folks here today. The only member that's not present is Dr. Corey Young, who's out on vacation. So we're now back in our budget planning talks, which was outlined as action item number A on our posting that we did for our special meeting.
If you want to go in order, then the constable's office will be next on that list.
Okay, constable's office.
Y'all have a nice large package for him. Okay. He is asking for an increase in pay for himself. He did a survey and compared, he has some documentation with comparing salaries with other constables. And while I'm getting that out, he's also asked for a part-time clerk at 29 hours a week, so there would be no insurance on that. So he does have Form 2 personnel requests. He has cited expanded workload for county growth, more department efficiency as reasons why he is asking for the increase in pay for himself. So we all would think about that as well. Tax salary survey recently came out. I know you got a copy of it. I got a copy of it. Commissioners, did y'all get a copy of that?
Of what?
The salary study that, or salary survey that TAC does?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I don't think I got it either.
Okay.
I don't mean I didn't.
Is it in the folder you gave us, or is it
Yeah.
an email?
I received it in an email.
Is it like a countywide?
Yes,
Survey?
it is statewide, state, countywide. I'll go ahead and forward you that.
Can I see this report for just a second?
Oh. You already have a copy of this, so I'm not going to forward it to you because you actually also forwarded it to me. So.
Forwarded it to the commissioners.
Yes.
And we should, work should be commencing next week on the elections office, just so y'all know. I gave him Shane's number as a contact if you need anything, but just in case. I guess I'll just. You know, the library deal, was there a timeline, deadline in it?
Didn't you show me that the DR is getting like $40,000 or $50,000 a year right now? That's what he's charging us.
Oh, yeah, because he gets it by thing, he's up around 20s, in the upper 20s right now, but we haven't paid him in a month or so. So yes, he'll be getting in the 30s by the time it's all said and done. Okay, and I will need all of that back. So,
On the bollards in front of the annex,
Mhm.
is that a standalone bid or grant or whatever that was? For the annex?
On the bollards for the grant for the elections office, is it?
Well, no, for the annex.
I mean, for the end, yeah, that's.
We don't have a grant for the annex itself, just the election office.
Just the election.
So it'll have to be.
So the bollards at the annex are just out of our.
Bollards on the end.
Now, on the library, do I need to get with Bernadette on getting that going for that part?
Sure, we have until, April 30th, 2027 to have that project completed, so that's not a priority.
Okay.
The election office is the priority right now.
He should be, talked with him this morning, he should be starting it Monday.
Perfect.
So I told him,
It would be preferable for it to be done about the last day of the month, but if there's some loose ends to tie up, it's not a hard deadline.
well, I told him that it was July
I mean,
31st.
that's on it.
Yeah, time and check and everything got to be done by the 31st.
And so those will just be on the side of the annex.
Yes, just those
So
bollards there.
If you are wanting something in front, which I don't know if it's needed because of the curve or not, I don't know all those details.
You'd have to, you'd have to have a lot of speed on that to get up.
So,
So I think where I'm at on the constable is,
Thank you.
he has a deputy from last year. I know that his workload's increased because the new person that we recently hired is actually a worker, and he's out serving warrants and doing things like that. So to expand it into a clerk, if he needs clerk help, Mrs. Parker can help him with the limited amount of filing that he has. If in fact it's that voluminous, but I don't know what. I'm trying to look and see what the.
Okay, here's constables within our population size.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tag doesn't have constable, I don't see.
Well, no, one of the,
He's paid at. He's paid as well.
I know when he was talking, he said somebody
I've got it
answering
on
the
the
phone and somebody
It's 51.
like getting things ready
So
for when they come in, how you need to go serve this, organizing, kind of like.
On through here.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. I looked last year, and his wage last year it fell within the average of counties our size. I haven't done it this year. Was this one that you met with?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think?
I could see the need for the part-time just because those two, they're out in the field constantly, and the time they come in, they've got all these messages and everything to get served. And what he said made sense on trying to just have somebody to organize and get together what needs to be done right there. Just nothing else, just answering phones and returning calls. Part-time would be, if you used it wisely, I guess you need to be real careful.
Yeah.
I agree, coming in from the field like that. And one thing I didn't, some things I didn't know was how long he'd sometimes have to be out at a place to try to serve.
Right.
And be out there midnight, 1 in the morning trying to serve somebody. And trying to get back to the office to return calls. So I could see that being an issue. Do we hire somebody or do we have somebody?
Well, we could put Mrs. Parker back over into the office up front. She could serve as the receptionist for that office, and also,
His office.
is in the back. So she'd have to be willing to accept that. But as opposed to parking someone there in his office, that would be one option. Otherwise, we'd need to hire somebody.
I'd be taking her away from your office.
well, she's a floater now. I've only, right now, Mrs. Parker's at my office because of just trying to keep husband and wife separate and doing that, kind of trying to treat everyone
And I'd say
the same.
I guess that would work.
So we can do that.
She's already received her certified.
Yeah, she just needs to certify that. She's already taken her classes.
Yeah.
Man, that
And she,
jackpot.
She's very sufficient, so I think she should be moved over there. I think
Okay.
that's a good idea.
all right. We can make that happen.
Okay. So for the constable, no payroll changes at this time.
Well, what I was going to suggest is I was negotiating at lunch with Kristen, but we currently have a contract, DR, that we're paying an undetermined amount of money to. Seems Kristen thinks it should be no more than 15,000.
What? If they're all residential. If
Yeah.
all 50 were residential.
Right, and we've done about 50, I think, is what we told me. But what we could do is the constable was the valedictorian of his class, so he's an excellent tester, and we could have him. And he's also the only elected position, I believe, that could actually serve these dual roles like this. But he can become the DR. If he can become a DR, then we can move the money for that position, some undetermined amount of money, because we're still supplying vehicles and things like that for him to go check things out. But he could do that work, and then we could also pay him a little more money to actually go out and carry out the work. That's an option.
Now, my suggestion would be to still keep the pay separate, because in case something
Yes,
comes along
right.
and he does not run for reelection or does not get reelected, then you need to separate it out. So, his elected official salary would be posted here, in the paper, and that would be a separate pay, separate department, separate job description.
The supplemental income check.
Right. And it'd be using a county vehicle. So right now, Chris, we're paying money for the person right now that has his own car, his own insurance, his own this, his own that. So we're paying for all those things, and it's all wrapped up into the price that person charges the contractor. And here we still already carry liability insurance in what he does. So our insurance would still be ultimately responsible if something did happen. Would get sued anyway. So we could use the money from this department to offset an expense in our organization by having him do this work. It would help Alan eliminate the part-time job that he has on the week. He's working part-time on the weekends traveling because he doesn't make enough money to feed his family with just this job that he has. And that would be a way for me, kind of a way to bridge the gap of what his financial needs are and what our corporate needs are as an organization. Perhaps going to do that. It's not entirely my idea either. Joe Parker, I think if you go look at the report that he submitted, had something like this in there already. And I've spoken in general about this with the constable on another matter, and he's open to doing anything that he can to make more money. So how do y'all feel about that?
Well, personally, looking over, I think his pay is right about what the county can afford, as small as we are, population-wise. And looking at other counties that are about our population, that's a pretty good salary compared to them. I mean, I realize when you look at Anderson County and they're making $100,000, but that's a little unrealistic. Or 82,000, excuse me. For us, we can't afford that. So I think going forward, everybody's comparing surrounding counties to their salary. I think you need to look at counties that are our population, not Hunt County, Hopkins County, things like that. So, as far as I'm concerned, the constable, his pay looks like it's about right. I will say that TAC does not have anything on travel allowance, that he has a vehicle, he has a deputy with a vehicle, and we're giving him a clerk. I guess, and that's all he's asking for, correct? A raise and a clerk?
And
Another vehicle?
Yes, he's asking for a new vehicle because the given vehicle is kind of like,
Wonky.
yes,
it's a money pit.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I think the salary range for the position itself is where it should be, but I'm looking, what I was looking at is we can continue the contract route or not. It comes up for renewal, and if there's a way to kind of skin the cat and then also offset some other expenses, like his truck is a fixed cost for us, whether it starts or not every day. It's a fixed cost. The insurance is more or less a fixed cost for us. So our insurance isn't going to go up exponentially because we're doing DR work now. So it's just, it's one way to add a little bit of money. It's not a whole lot that we're really speaking of here, but it would be a way to add it in. It also gives us a little bit more control. And frankly, it's my belief that if we focus on it, we should be, not to forget what I was told, but we should be having a lot more investigative work that's going on in our county with respect to septic systems. And I'm not sure that our current contract anticipated it. And in my conversations with him, when I met with the guy that's done the work, it didn't come up in discussion. So I don't think there's any proactive effort in Rains County to seek out these problematic areas. And I think, here we have a licensed peace officer. We have that can actually do something as well if we needed to carry out that. So that's an idea that I have.
We keep bringing up the DR. So the DR right now basically cancels himself out, the one that is subcontracted. Plus, we do make a little bit of money off of that. So,
Very little.
go ahead.
Very little.
Very little. We don't get hardly anything, correct, from that. But at the moment, and since I've been here, we've not had an environmental officer. I know it's been thrown around here, there, everywhere, but that's been my focus for a long time, to have someone to go out and not overgovern the county or the taxpayers, but to keep things in order and in compliance, so that we don't get calls of, my neighbor's got 20 tons of trash in his yard, what can I do? Well, there's nothing that we ever do about that because we do not have an environmental officer.
We have a position for it in the sheriff's department, but it's
We've
not
had a
really,
position for
there's not a
a
focus on
long
it.
time.
Yeah.
There's no focus, right? And
I
so
agree. Yeah.
I would love to see that honed in on. And that's why I'm bringing up the DR position, because basically that, at the moment, it cancels itself out. We do get a little revenue from it, but anyway, it's my 2 cents on the DR. I don't know what that test cost. I know that we've had people that's taken the test in the past, and it does cost a little bit of money. But
$600.
Huh?
$600 for the class, and then another testing fee, maybe 100 and something. I can't remember the testing fee.
how much
What do
is
you
that?
think? You are our only licensed DR in the county. Is it something that it's not full time, right?
In fact, they have the numbers on how many has been done this year.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea if the constable's willing to.
Willing and able.
Yeah, if he wants to do it.
Because then he could write the tickets himself.
We graduated valedictorian of the class. I tell you what, if he doesn't pass the test, if he passes the test, I'll get twice as much as it costs.
I agree, but because he's elected, you never know your fate, right? And so his deputy, to me, would be a better choice because they are a hard position.
The
Me.
sheriff's office?
No, constable.
Oh,
If you were out writing tickets for bad septic tanks, your next election could be a little tougher.
Well, with it, keeping it separated out, if y'all were not happy with it, you could take it away from him.
Mhm.
It would not be part of his elected official's salary. It is a
That's a-
complete
That's a valid,
separate
that's a
job.
valid point right there.
But in taxpayers' eyes,
I
you
get
know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying? Yeah.
But yes, but I mean, if y'all are not happy with it, y'all could take that away from him. If you opt with the constable doing
Of
it.
course, the sheriff writing somebody a ticket.
I don't buy
It is
that.
what it is.
Here's my thought on it. When this conversation got brought up with Doug about the foundation, we looked at how many environmental calls we had last year, and there was 4 to the sheriff's office. And 2 of them we handled, and 2 of them was environmental. About 4 calls that we got. So there's other calls that people are talking about, they work report to the sheriff's office. Because we can still enforce any state law environmentally, that's not the state law, which can't do county ordinances because of the reasons. But, we had 4 calls last year, environmental calls, and we had 2.
I mean,
And not all,
Joe
and
get-
the other thing is not all environmental cases for giving citations. Sometimes they do class B, class A, felony, and that's the same with the rest of them.
to-
But we got like 4 calls we had last year.
When you say,
He didn't
and
even
I'm
call
gonna
me.
ask this for my purpose, when you say environmental, are you saying like trash or are you talking septic? There's,
Be either or.
Okay.
Go back to the calls, which was what?
okay,
We had 4 calls all last
Okay.
year in reference to environmental. Because the judge came over and we pulled the numbers and it was totally 4 and 2 of them we handled ourselves.
Personally, and maybe I'll never be elected again, but I'll just put it out there. If you're going to violate a law in this county and you're going to not vote for someone because you're violating the law, then please don't vote for me. Because I'm up here. My job as a judge of this county is to enforce the laws of this state, and I'll do it unapologetically. I just know how to be.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the time when we were in a meeting with them. You tell everyone in the room not to vote for you, because then I'm living in your precinct.
So, I mean, enforcing complaints, I think, in a law enforcement mindset is different than having a environmental officer going out there looking for things to enforce. That's where your problems are coming to, that's what people are not used to in any county, right?
But-
That's where the problems start right there.
But he doesn't. If we can get the basis of and the foundational aspect of what it is we're going to enforce written down,
It's gotta
Basically,
be
we
fine.
start out just septic,
septics and stuff like that.
just as new
Exactly.
construction and stuff,
Yeah.
not really complain.
But we have to have the basis. Like our basis is whatever our document says, right? That we're going to be enforcing, which is can't be any less than what the state law is. But if we have that written down, then any peace officer can provide that.
Absolutely. The other thing,
Enforcement.
that we need to make sure of when y'all define these, points is reinspection fees. You go out there not ready, you should be charged again. That's one way the county can save any time from that person going the second time to do that. There's other things to do that. And the county is going to apply that to Rankin County.
If it's not the constable, then my proposal will still be the same. I'd like for someone else in the county to bring it in so that we can see, so we have more guidance and control over what's going on. We have no control or guidance over our contractor. He goes and does, he's a subcontractor. He goes and does his work when he's asked to go and do it, but that's about it. So the interaction's not there organizationally speaking, and we're giving away money. So do you agree with that or disagree with that?
Yes,
You do? Okay.
I think that's right. I know that
do y'all want a dollar amount for like, if you say, okay, we want to check further into Alan possibly doing it, do you have a dollar amount? Because I can give you a total.
Let's get the exact bill. Let's call it,
Okay.
ask them to send us a bill and get the exact number.
Okay.
And we can come up with it. And we'll back out the things that are going to cost us, like bike and the telephone.
Yeah, benefits.
The gasoline, all those things.
Okay.
And then two Jim's, so I have personal experience with the constable in the sense that I did have the constable serve I recently had him serve a writ on a possession for a home where he sat out there for 3 or 4 days. waiting for people to move out, and it was an all-day effort. So there are times when you have to go do stuff like that. It is time-consuming, but on the other hand, if you have someone that's working it, like the new person that he's hired, I walked in the other day. There's a stack. Alan was excited because the stack was about this thick on his desk because he hadn't entered it all in. So, so there is improvement there, but are we doing 1,000 a month, or are we doing like how many risks we're doing every month? But there are metrics that we need to look at to see how much more we want to push the salary of an individual, or even the addition of staff or whatever.
Well, if you're gonna let him do the DR,
That ought to serve it. Yeah, as long as everyone's philosophically okay with it. And if there's someone else in the county that could like it, we can sure look at them too.
Okay, so at this time, no additional payroll for the constable's office.
Except for the part-time position that we do.
Okay, which is sitting in your budget right now. Do you want to move that position to the constable then?
I can do that.
Okay, then it'll end up being a zero wash. So
She's environmental already, so she can
Yes.
just go there and do it now.
okay, okay, all right. So it'll be a wash because it'll lower your budget, increase his budget. Okay. All right, next on the list, the Justice of the Peace asked for a cell phone allotment for his chief clerk. It's a total of $520 with all the benefits.
That's the second constable. Is he called the chief clerk?
Oh, no, this is the JP office.
Oh, the JP. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I'm good with that. A lot of communications, between your clerks are by text messages. We try to refrain from it just because of the public information requests that we get. But a lot of phone calls. Are y'all good with that?
Sounds good to me. $500, that's the easiest one so far.
if you have a JP in your phone, I don't think it's-
Oh, you don't?
He knows this budget.
Like I said, mainly we're just talking payroll now so that we can start getting some numbers in there and looking. Okay, we've already discussed environmental, not adding anything yet as far as a salary. Okay, we've already talked about the jail and the sheriff,
It wasn't very big.
the constable.
The JP's
JP.
office.
Oh.
Was one sheet.
Yeah. Yeah, if he did not include any extra, you will not have anything in your folder on it.
Okay.
It would just be on that report.
Okay.
But if he turned in something additional, then
I'm looking for it.
but it would be on that report you had pulled up there, June.
Yeah, I think that's really.
Yeah.
All he had maybe.
Yes. I mean, additional, we've already discussed the increase in training for the new JP coming in, but as far as, additional pay, that was the only thing he had asked. Okay, road and bridge. Ronnie asked for a cell phone stipend increase from the current $480 a year to $600 a year for his staff. That'd be an additional $2,998.
Why is that?
That's what I was thinking.
Phone costs have gone up. I mean, everyone pays about $40 a month now.
You don't have radios.
Yeah, the radios, we have two-way radios, but there again,
You didn't get radios, right?
we didn't get radios.
You can get radios?
We didn't get on the grant to get radios.
Oh, can we get on the grant to get radios?
Wasn't we part of that?
It's
or
not
not?
Roden Branch.
I don't think so. Are you talking about radios for the new tower?
Yep.
Yeah, can we get radios for the grant? Can we get a radio grant for the road and bridge department?
I don't know. I can talk to Steve, but if you already have radios, they'll still work on the new tower.
So in other words, they have to.
For 5 years,
Yes, for 5 years.
from the time
That's
it's
good.
installed.
I guess we'll keep our same frequency then.
Yeah.
The two frequencies is what we have.
But if you increase the cell phone allotment for Ronnie's people, are
Do
y'all
it for
going
everybody.
to do it for everybody?
We would have to. What's the logic again? Because we shouldn't have to pay the whole cell phone.
Well, we call them on weekends and holidays, we
Let's
call them at night, we call them during the day, we get their assignments during the day, so we get quite a bit of phone traffic from the county,
Yeah,
from me.
that's
honestly.
$25 per
Employee.
oh, that's not
That's what it is.
well.
Probably need.
Or you give it just.
Yes, please, because we're gonna still rake over the colors, so.
Rake me over the coals, come on.
Whoever.
Jim says let's just do it for everybody.
Okay, I'll have to do a,
That's going to be a lot of increase.
yes. But I haven't entered all of that
Well,
stuff yet, I just have it on
His
here.
request is like $25, but we get.
We get like $18 and something.
1846.
Yeah.
State
Who all didn't get phone allowances? And who did?
Only people that, I don't know.
I mean, not all elected officials take it.
I have a separate phone in mine.
Yeah. Or department heads, well, we have one or two department heads. I receive a cell phone allowance. Stacy Parker receives a cell phone allowance because she uses it for her hotspot when she works at home. Christy, you receive one, right?
I only have cell phone, yeah, this one.
So, not, of course, obviously not everyone gets it, but I'll have to go back and do a pay.
So if anybody's using their cell phone for county business.
Yeah, I agree. If they're using it, they should be paid for it.
Do it.
I mean, I call Lindsay. I call Molly.
You talking about
I
extending.
call everybody.
Yeah.
So when
You know,
we
about
do this,
$18
Do
a
that,
person
I'm
or
gonna have
when
everybody's
you do a cell phone
requirement.
allowance,
So,
when you do a cell phone allowance,
I told Mindy
then
that.
does that make you open up?
Mandy didn't put it on the request.
well, I mean, it's eight.
When you
He's
do a
asking
cell phone
$25
allowance, does that
an
not
hour.
open you up to be able to
Giving
use
everybody
your phone 24/7?
No, 25.
Does it?
Yeah, bumping it from 480 a year to 600 a year.
Did you ask something?
I asked if you give a cell phone allowance, does that make you liable to answer your phone 24/7?
As far as I'm concerned, it does. Even if you don't give me one, I want you to answer the phone.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Road Bridge has a policy.
Let's get a policy. I was going to.
20 minutes, call me back, or you're in trouble.
Oh, I'm more strict than that. And Jeremy's only violated it one time.
You forgive me when you text me really, really early in the morning.
Depending on what time of day the call comes in.
Okay, I will calculate that out and get y'all the difference, the increase.
What I tell my staff is if I pick up the phone and call you, unless you're talking to Jesus himself,
We
you
also
better listen to
have-
that phone and you better listen, I'll call you right
If you're
back.
talking to Jesus, you ain't gonna
You ain't gonna care. That's right.
Yeah, we're across the
That's
board.
it, here we go.
The second reason is you're unconscious.
We also have it in our policy. And also in the job description as well.
Wise man. It doesn't surprise me, Ronnie.
Oh, it's there before me, I can't take credit.
Oh, okay.
Previous
Okay.
administrators.
That's correct.
Before you increase
So
it,
I guess it
it's,
is mandatory.
Yeah, but what if you're grandfathered in? How do you make people sign a policy after they're already an employee?
Well, you have me sign
Because
the
you're
pol-
giving
you
them
might-
a
Change
rate,
policy,
because you're
change the
giving them
policy.
you have to change policy.
and you're giving them a pay increase on it,
Well, reimbursement fee.
reimbursement fee.
We can come up with one.
Okay.
So
Would you help me
an
work on that?
allowance,
Yeah,
yeah,
you normally do.
an allowance,
Anybody that accepts the allowance,
Lawyer, are you gonna help me work on it?
yeah,
An allowance is a taxable benefit. Now, one way or the other, people have to, they can take their cell phone bill and go, okay, I used it for this much for county business, and they can still, work it off their taxes if they want to. If not, you have to turn in a base bill for it to not be taxable, which is a lot more work on the individual person. So most people opt for an allowance. Okay, so it would go up from $520 a year to $650 a year, to go from $480 a year base and up to $600 a year base. And I do not know how many cell phone allowances there are at this time. Sheriff has 3 people in the jail that receive a cell phone allowance, I believe.
Two now, I think.
Incarcerated or not?
I think one's held
Okay. Will the new position get it?
if we create a new position. I mean, if we.
Or fill the position that same way? Okay. I mean, that's just a matter of just almost pennies with the budget on that one though. So, okay, I will have to calculate that out and let y'all know on that one, what the cost is. Okay. Do we want to go ahead and go over some of Ronnie's fun stuff now?
Well, we only have one more. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Just to break up the.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all didn't tell about the 600 decrease on the line number, the dumpster. You didn't say anything about decreasing $200 on the line order. You didn't mention.
What'd you say? I can't hear you.
I'm mumbling for a reason.
What did you
I
say?
did decrease some stuff. Okay?
Yes, he did.
To cover some of the other stuff.
Okay.
I'm asking.
On the PDF report, if y'all will pull up,
Is that a deal you're willing to make on all of your requests?
Well, that's what we're here for.
okay.
Come on.
Because it's going to be a lot. Oh, goodness.
Hold on, that document disappeared on me. I gotta pull it back up. Let's see.
So, you want me to? I can get started on it. Okay. Unless you're going.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. So this is a little unconventional for some. Maybe I don't know, but Ronnie had asked for $200,000 worth of equipment, and actually more than 200,000. You're asking for
Right. You wanted a
360,
Yeah, it's more like 317.
317,000. You have that or? Okay. So what we were playing with is, if you look at this, he's subbing out, if I remember correctly, about 54,000 a year. How much are you subbing out for subcontractor hauling?
Subcontractor hauling, we're at 93,000.
93,000. Let me find my notes on that. Yes, sir. Hauling 93,000. You're subbing out 93,000 a year. And so the idea is, and the subbing out that you're doing is for hauling material.
Hauling material.
And so you couldn't eliminate all that cost, but you could eliminate how much of it?
Up to 25, at least 25% or higher. So you're looking at 25% of 93,000. What's that?
20 grand.
Why can't I thought we could go deeper than that.
Do I?
I thought you could go deeper than that.
We could. We can. We can go deeper than that.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking we'd have about 25,000 left.
We'll go from you can run up to about 60. If you're running at 20, you could probably go 2/3.
Okay.
You still have to keep about 1/3.
Yeah.
But you can eliminate 2/3.
So we can eliminate $60,000 a year on the rental side of it, just by going through that one line item. And if you looked at, so what I was thinking about doing, rather than paying cash for the equipment, to free up some money to do other things that we've looked at so far, would be to lease, to lease / finance the equipment that he's wanting and spread that out over time. So if you can think about it, if he's spending $90,000 a year right now, well, in this case, we're saving 60. If he's spending $60,000 a year and he does that for 5 years, that's $300,000. Right? So we're putting, no, that's not all savings because the contractors are using fuel and they're using all the things that they use. They've got people and so forth. But I was thinking that if we could take the 200,000, use this 60,000. There's another line item too where we're going to take from.
We were gonna look at the rental line. I don't know if we can take completely that rental line.
Yeah. And the rental line is on.
It's at 40,000 right now.
Yeah, the rental line is 40,000. So we can maybe drop the rental line down to the equipment lease 40,000.
Yeah, we cut some of it.
How far can you cut that again?
We can cut it in half, actually.
Okay, so that gives us 80,000. 20K for rental. So that gives us $80,000 a year of money that we could utilize to self-perform our own services, make an investment in the equipment that we have. And then you're putting maybe 24, you said 25 or 30,000 miles a year on the trucks.
Something close to that.
So you're,
One year, it depends on how much we went to 58,000.
okay.
But our
Let's just
average
say,
is late 30.
let's say 60,000. 60,000 miles a year. These trucks will last. It's not uncommon to see these things out there, 700,000-800,000 miles on them easy. And they're banking, good money. So in 5 years, we could look at it and say, okay, we're happy with what we got and we keep on going with it, or we sell them and start all over again, as opposed to just continually subcontracting work out to other people.
On a typical job though, if we have one more truck, like if you're doing a mile stretch, you got to subcontract out more drivers to get more material there in a timely manner, right? Like you're doing
Well, if you're referring to when I split the crew, I've got two crews. I got one crew doing base work and prep work, and I got one crew doing the overlaying. So we can have two different projects going on at the same time, which will always, the overlaying will take all three trucks. So we understand that that'll happen. But it's the base work where it's the cheapest material. It doesn't cost us as much. Is where you come in with your vendor haul to do the base work. But I could have one truck there, two trucks on the other one, and then just give them one truck. Right now, I get two trucks from the vendor to do that job, and I have my two trucks. If I'm not hauling something, I only have one truck. If I'm hauling, I only have to have three vendor truck haul. Which, if you want to know that daily cost, I have to have it here. That's $1,125 per truck per day. So we're talking about money here. Save just by having another haul truck with this case, in this case, a trailer as well.
Truck and trailer, yeah.
Truck and
and
trailer
trailer, yeah.
will help eliminate some of that cost.
how often do we have all those cars working where we're hauling that much in a day, week, month?
Okay, we're doing, I was inaccurate on that number I told you before. Each truck can run on a perfect month, 20-day working day in a month. You can haul 1,440 tons. One truck.
How many loads is that?
That is divided by 24. Okay, I don't know off the top of my head. That's 60 loads. 60 loads a month. And it usually takes about 1,500 to 1,700 tons a mile for doing the whole mile. So that's going to take you a month. And if I have one truck, and if we currently the way we're doing it right now, if I have one truck doing it, and one truck hauling, and then coming back and overlaying on another spot, and I just have one truck here, one truck there, you're looking at 2 to 3 months before you get a job done. And once you start with base work, people drive down the roads, dust comes into play, And people tend to get a little excited about that dust. They don't have dust on the road before we started, and they don't like dust. And 3 months into it, they will be calling, and they will be calling you guys too. So this helps with that turnover time to get a job completed, because then I can put my 3 trucks in that worst case worse. I get 2 trucks and run over here and finish up extra. And it doesn't take as long. It doesn't cost as much per ton.
It keeps the guys working on the road busy, keeps them moving, where they're not waiting.
Yeah. Now, that's just with one truck in the trailer, so it can have substantial impact on the cost, on the operation.
The truck and the trailer would be about 240, actually 240,000 a year. So it's 2 decisions really. One is, do we want the truck and trailer or not? If we do, then do we want to pay cash for it, or do we want to use this other program? Do we just want to take the hit this year, or do we want to kind of develop
I
something?
think there's no way around it. If he needs it, and we'll get roads. And I think the financing part's way smarter than
I agree with that.
tying up all your money, even if it is.
It's 4.99%.
That's a good rate.
Out of our,
Versus the 240 that you're gonna pay at cash price. And with what I've heard today, you don't have 240 to do that.
Well, it's baked. It's currently baked in there. The 200 is baked in
Yes.
to our numbers, but with the S, no, you're right, we don't.
with the $1 million budget, assuming you get the same budget next year that you got last year,
Well, we're proposing 1.25 million.
We ain't got to that part yet.
Ronnie has spent. Ronnie has spent in excess of 1.2 million. Something we've supplemented it now twice. The court will vote on that.
Yes.
You know, he's already hit the 1.225 or so million. He asked for 1.6 million, which I'm
Just road material. It's
Just-
clear.
that's-
Just road material. No, nothing else. Just road
Yes.
material.
Just road material.
And that would eliminate how we've been putting 250 in the contingency department and then transferring it. We're gonna stop doing that because that had an ARPA purpose and
Yeah.
definitely passed the ARPA part. So it would give him an additional 250,000 in road materials.
And then we have a similar discussion, just so that you're not having I want you to be looking at this globally. It's a lot to think about. We also have a similar discussion on Ronnie's been renting rollers and things like that. And this equipment that he's looking at renting is still, will you explain that?
Still
You
rolled
can't-
over.
Okay, so at the beginning of this process, I sent in a rubber tire roller and a padded foot steel wheel roller. Now we've modified that. Now we're going to do a double steel wheel because we're getting into the asphalt game, and the double steel wheel will take out the track, so you don't have track, so you don't when you drive down the road after you pack it down, you don't go.
The pack race faster, drive race faster.
So anyway, so that will take out both of those rollers with one roller. So that cost will come down. It will be cut in half.
And how much were we spending on that?
Right now,
For
our
rentals?
cost with the maintenance and the rental for just those 2 units, just those rubber tire and the steel wheel, is $22,614 for the year. Now, if we get a new one, if you're going to go with that route, I'm not sure you've got the sheet on that. I think I turned it into you. Just,
Yeah, you want to look at it?
I think it's at 36 or something.
The new machine that you're talking about,
It's a used
what's
machine.
the cost of it?
Do what?
What's the cost of that new machine that puts the steel wheel and the,
It's on the top page there, isn't it?
No,
Or
that is
it's the one behind it.
yeah, the asphalt. Yeah, you got it right here.
Yeah.
The cost of that new machine that's going to take out 2 of them is $154,802. There'll be a fee, a $240 fee added to that, and then your 1-year payment for a 3-year term is $56,921. $77. Your 4 year, if you want to do the 4 year term, you're at $43,713.29. And then if you want to do your 5 year, which is where we've been comparing apples to apples, you're $35,872.
Would that machine last 5 years?
Yeah, that machine will last more than 5 years.
So the same thing I'm proposing, I would propose that we eliminate the rentals, get this machine, and then we have it's gonna save time too, right? Because you can,
When you
Yeah,
say,
you're
when you're
gonna
saying
save
getting into
time
the
per
asphalt,
person. You're not having 3 people on the job site, you're having 2 now. So you're eliminating the need for the 3rd person.
it has a sheet put on it or not?
No, it's not. This is a double steel. The other one is we can put the sheet pad foot onto the steel wheel that we have existing.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Okay.
And that's down in cost as well. That's like $13,000 for that piece to go on a smooth drum.
and you say you're getting into the asphalt part, you're getting into the hot mix, laying hot mix.
So lay hot mix. We did it on, if you want a sample to go look at, you can go to the road 4450. That's in precinct.
So y'all going to get a
Oh, you want
laying machine?
Not right now, because they're
Oh, is that
laying
the
in,
new
it's
one?
doing
Just
awesome.
Texas?
And
You
the
can get
mature is coming out at
I've already seen it.
100 degrees, so it's plowable, and we can blade it. And we have a guy that can blade it. And you go down 4450 and go take a look at it and see. And get your own opinion.
Out of the 1.25 that we spent this year on material, or we're gonna spend, how much of that was overlaying and how much is patch? Do you think?
And when you say overlay, you go in and like,
Sections of the road.
do you
sometimes.
grade it smooth before you overlay it or kill it?
No, it's not that bad shape. The base failures are not bad, where we had to come in and support them and stabilize them with cement and stuff and maybe a little more base. We could do that spot base repair and then we overlay. But most of it is overlaid, fairly decent road.
Just have to grade it smooth and then overlay it.
What do you think the percentage of the 1.25 was?
Okay, so
And I'm
the
not,
storms, we usually use about $10,000 per storm in patching. And we've had about 10 storms now. So about $100,000, $150,000 that goes to potholes. And now you got bad spots, base repairs, probably got another $50,000 on that. So you got about 200 of that is going to
Well, I know.
pothole after weather repair.
You ran through $250,000 in 2 months on patching.
Also overlay.
Oh, was that some overlay? when we
It's
did
get
that?
away from it. When you have area, let's say an area from me to you, or the desk, or that wall, patch after patch after patch after patch. We're gonna stop doing that patch after patch after patch. We're gonna overlay that section, whether it's 50 foot, 100 foot. So that's where you're coming in with that 250. Because we're changing it up. So yeah, you could probably bump it on up to 250. That'd be a safe out of the 1.2 that we use.
Well, I was just remembering this year, we agreed to pump it up 100-something thousand, then all of a sudden we had another ask for another 100,000, so.
Yeah.
160.
60, yeah,
So-
some number like that. I know it happened with 0 in it. Don't be pulling numbers out on that.
Alright, so when we asked for that, when I asked for that, we were going to do. We were gonna do 1495 base rock in a mile. We're gonna do 3422. We were going to do. I really need to look at that piece of paper.
That's okay.
Here, you want this one, he wants it back?
No, he's looking for.
No, I'm
material.
looking for the one that I turned in when I originally sat in the office and asked for additional money. You said, where are you gonna put it?
Yeah, you did it.
And that's where we are. That's where we're putting it on that list.
You have a little bit left, maybe. I remember it got down to like 30 grand or 60 grand.
Yeah, but we also decided that we would start taking my line items, which is
Oh,
why
yeah,
you
that's
see
right.
15,000
Rolling
rolling
stuff
out of
out.
culverts. It's gonna go to road material.
Yeah.
That's why you also see us coughing up out of subcontractor on the road material. You see that happening here too. You see it in the decrease, and then I'll decrease it for next year in order to get what I'm trying to do.
And then before you decide on this, I have one more little twist to throw at you. So Corey Young told me before he left town that the one thing that he told me with you in office was that he really wants to see some focus on drainage, and of all the things that he's done since he's been serving, he regrets the fact that hasn't been done. And so this morning, or actually maybe last night too, I forget, but we have been looking at. I told Ronnie about it last week actually, about how do we do that. And right now, Ronnie, be sure and listen to this in case I mischaracterize it. Right now, unless there's a road that needs to have drainage done at the time that we're there, we'll do it if it presents itself. But we're not really focused on any other drainage activities in the county except for culverts. Right. So I asked Ronnie this morning on my way to work, what would it take for you to focus, to dedicate and focus, fulfill, satisfy, or one commission, maybe you guys have the same feeling about it, but what would it cost to focus on drainage?
I think that's the major problem with the roads, is the water running down the roads instead of running down the ditches. So I agree.
Okay, well, here's the solution to it, according to Ronnie. And I don't say that
Just happen to have an answer to that.
Got it right here. In order to focus on roads, we would need one operator and two drivers. We already have a skid steer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
And we already have the equipment for it.
That's correct.
So what we would need would be people. The people that we would need would make $32. Two of those folks make $32 an hour, and the other ones make $20 an hour. And I think that's loaded cost, $32 an hour. That's loaded all in with all benefits and everything, according to Tanya.
Professional license at $20.
You verify that. So if we want to focus on roads, if we want to focus on drainage, you can do 7 miles of road per year, which would mean 2 ditches. So that'd be a total of 14 linear miles that he thinks that crew could focus on. Did you call TxDOT?
Yes, I called him and he said he would give it to me on Monday, that information. But for right now, the contractor they have they charge $1.60 a foot.
Okay.
So that's 5,280 feet in a mile. So that's $1.60 times 2. So they're hitting around $10,000 for a mile, and we are hitting around
14-ish. Wait, but is that per linear mile on one side?
I don't know if it's square mileage. He said he would send me over the bid pack so I could look at it.
Okay.
He just said $1.60. I'm sure it might even be square foot. $1.60 a square foot. You know how many square feet are in a mile?
Yeah.
Whatever the ditch.
Well, if you took, I figured it up by miles. Let's see here. So if I took 5,280.
Would you agree that the ditches that have just been filled in where the water just runs down the road, that's a huge part of the problem, right? Because your roads, they hold up, they're running underwater.
That's the same price.
It's the same price.
Yeah, because it's 15,840 a mile, and I came up for you if you take your 180. I think I rounded it up to 250. 250 divided by 7. Well, I guess it depends. That's
It depends on the width of your ditch and how much.
Yeah,
some ditches
that doesn't work.
or need water. Will be water in other ditches if we're subbing it out.
So if based on his opinion, which I found to be pretty close, Ronnie thinks it's going to be 180. You pack in all the other expenses to get out there and get back.
You got to haul the dirt off.
Haul the dirt off.
Culvert problem.
About 180 a year.
240, 180 for salaries, and probably you're looking at $250,000 a year to do a dedicated crew.
And you have
That's
to
all they
replace
do, is just
culverts.
clean
Well,
ditches.
not necessarily. We had to allow for the culverts that you blow out with the water truck, you had to allow for the culverts that had to be replaced underneath the road too. So,
We already have a crew doing that. You already have a crew doing that.
yeah, we have a crew doing that,
So-
but
So this crew here would just be
it could
dedicated
be
to.
blowing out and replacing. If there's a culvert that is not functioning, you have to replace it. And that's what we do now. So, and that's not a lot. Sometimes we blow them out and we're good. We save a lot of time and effort blowing them out with water.
So this is what I heard when I heard that this morning, which is if you want to focus on ditches, if the county wants to focus on ditches, which I have a lot of complaints from people about ditches. Here's what the cost of it is. If we don't go spend this money, then the past is a prediction of the future, and we're only going to be doing what we think is absolutely necessary when we go and redo our road. That's the summation of it. So
If you don't do the ditches and you do the roads, you're just gonna do the roads again.
pretty much. Well,
So the theory here is how this come up is we have 7 months during the year that we're working. And that could be part of that 7 months. That's why I said 7 miles. We do a mile a month. And that's a conservative estimate. It's an estimate. It's not carved in stone. I haven't done this before, okay?
You'll know better once you do a mile.
But yeah, once we do a mile, see how long it takes. That could increase. That number of miles could increase. And it probably will increase because we always meet and exceed.
Once they get rolling, get a rhythm down.
Right? It'll start going faster.
I think that's pretty smart money because if we just keep patching and water keeps running over, we're just gonna keep patching.
And I've got several places in my mind that need to be addressed.
I think you need to go sharpen your pen. I think you might have misestimated how many linear miles you can do.
Oh, he said he thought he'd get better.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm going to do it ultra conservative because these guys,
Well, this is
if we don't have new, these guys that we're going to dedicate is also the guys that are dedicated to all the other work that we do. Worst case scenario, okay? That's
So
why
you're
I'm conservative.
4.4 times high right now. So
Oh,
comparatively speaking to TxDOT's bids, are 4 times higher, 4.5 times. So there's probably it could be a buck a square foot.
I think it's probably the square. They order it by square foot.
I bet that's what it
60
is.
square foot sounds more logical.
If that's the case, then you're talking.
Depending on how big the ditch is.
Yeah, exactly. But you can guess.
Hey, Ronnie,
Your average ditch is probably for us. Average ditch is probably 8 feet wide. On the average, you got 3s, 2s, and then 8 feet times 5,280 divided by 9 gives you your square foot.
so when you're let's say you're cleaning a ditch and you run across a culvert that's crushed, what do you do?
Well, a lot of times we can cut it open. If we can blow it open. Otherwise, we have to replace it if we're having that big of a drainage issue. It can cause a problem on the road erosion.
So since you decreased your culverts in half, and we're going to start cleaning out ditches,
Right.
might become a problem. Just thinking ahead here. And the subcontracting we're taking down to a third.
Yeah.
Subcontracting is not just hauling; it's also mowing and
The hauling comes out of road
Now
material.
that comes out of the material.
oh,
And the money that we're speaking to is just strictly hauling.
strictly hauling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we had the primary.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was,
yeah,
I
that's-
was confused.
Well, and I apologize. We had we spoke last week. Ronnie's going to do his spreadsheet. He didn't get it done. Lori and I met with him yesterday. I ran back out there this morning because I felt like it was incumbent upon you all to hear what's going on. So you could be thinking about, because these are big numbers here, but it's also an area that I think the residents want us to focus on. So I wanted you to have a few days to think about it.
Taxpayers are focused on roads.
Right,
For
yeah.
sure.
So, I get Mr. Francis will like this, but
Okay, so some of the roads that we've done with the money that I've asked for, just to finish out, I found my notes. 1605, we did 1.75 miles. 1690, we did a little over 3/10 of a mile. We're still scheduled for 1330 for 3/4 of a mile. And we're still scheduled for 3422 for 1/4 of a mile.
And that is to do,
we're rehabbing those. We rehabbed them. We've added base. Now we're gonna top. We're ready to top in that because I'm running short again.
I
Because
know,
how many storms did we have in the last 6 weeks?
exactly.
That's how they're gonna look when it was all
We had
done.
about 6 storms, so that's what about $40,000 to $60,000 right there.
Mr. Francis. We had 6 of these at midnight.
That's before the end of this fiscal year?
That's before the end of this. I don't know if I can get it. I may have to do like I'm doing before, like I've done before. Is do the base work at the end of 1 year and overlay at the beginning of the next year. That works out really well. And it doesn't take people 3 months to do dust 3 months and get mad all during summer. It's good.
Is there a way just occasionally you shoot an email to the commissioner, just let us know where you're planning on working?
Yeah, just keep you updated.
Just keep me updated where somebody calls. I can look at a glance to the bottom. Yeah, I can look at a glance and go, well, it's on the schedule for this day, or they're currently working on that one.
And it'll be close. Sometimes we're off a week. Sometimes I'll say do it this week,
Just something,
next
just-
week, or something like that.
Maybe a weekly or
Ronnie, you
bi-weekly.
need a part-time, you need a clerk. Sorry. Just kidding.
Some other options
No,
could
thank
be,
you.
if we wanted
Say
to,
it.
one option would be, I guess we could pull back on the material, $250,000 off of the material, go back down to $1 million and park the other $250,000 over on ditches if you wanted to do that. That'd keep it somewhat balanced, but
I'm good with that.
It's a good plan.
That's-
Look what I did with the million. I mean, come on. Look at what we did with the million. It seems to be safe.
Can you, I know we could find it, but can you get a list of everything you did, all the roads you did this year for the people that we report to, so we can say, hey,
Email you and say, look, this is where your money went. Why didn't you get it on my road? Well, this is the road it went to.
he has those in our last
And
commissioner's
at
court.
least if we got a,
You give it to us every commissioner's court on the report, right?
Yeah, you can look at that one. You can see, but that is like 15 pages. They want a summary, bro.
Okay.
Summary. Of it.
I don't need a line item budget.
That's what you
I
need.
just need a where you gonna be working this week.
That's what you get in your report from me once a month to the court from us. In court, I think court is
off the top of your head, which roads were those for this year? Big ones?
for this year.
Yeah, ones you've done so far.
I know we
3345,
did 11 miles. That's all I-
3350,
I don't-
3350, 3357,
Well, I know how many miles, I know how many.
1605,
16
I don't get
32
that.
20, 3210,
It's in the report, isn't it? Every two-
3150. We did 8,000 feet on that one. The whole road, we did 8,000 feet on that.
City of Point,
1690.
City of Point.
City of Point. No, that was bad.
Hey, Ronnie, don't you submit the 11 point something miles of, you submit that on every report?
Yeah, that's a capital. That's called the capital improvement, and we have to do that to show where we capitalize our.
But you're giving it out at each commissioner's court meeting? Does it come every commissioner's court meeting?
No, it's just on request.
Oh, on request, okay, I'm sorry, it's on request.
Just request it. I'll give you that packet.
So, would you send it to Jim?
Yeah, no problem. You'll be surprised where we started out. I'll go back to 16 on you. See how you like that.
So Judge, you said something, sorry, Ronnie. You said something about pulling,
Hey, but I mean, when somebody calls, at least it's a good answer. Here's where we were, and here's where we're eventually going to get around to it.
And you'll see that packet, and I send it every budget year. Keep that packet, because that's the list I go off of.
Hey, you mentioned something about pulling the 250,000 off of road materials and putting it to ditches. So what line item would you want that to go to?
I was just throwing that out as an idea for them.
Okay.
Like, from my standpoint, if he has the capacity to go and do it, I'd rather do more than less, on the roads myself. But, and we already have $200,000 of money in there. But we need to look at it and see where we end up at.
So leave road materials at 1.25 for now?
I mean, what's y'all's feedback? What do you think? Or,
I'm ready for us to get down to the bottom line here, of exactly how much money we're talking. Like, are we talking, I just think for the public's sake, we need a breakdown.
The old bottom line.
$1,025,000 for road materials,
$1,250,000.
And then the steel roll
They've got all of this, yes.
asphalt compactor.
And that's on the email that Tammy sent out?
Yeah.
The 1.2's in there and the 200's in there for the
Right.
equipment right now.
I was just thinking publicly we would say it out loud.
I think she's mentioning like, what's the bottom line?
Well,
The
it's,
bottom line,
Well, we gotta
That's
know
what she's
we're
looking
gonna
for. She's looking for that
exactly.
bottom line.
wish list.
Yeah.
It's a
Tammy
wish
may have
list.
that.
This is not what's happening.
Well, I'm still having to pull it together. Okay.
I personally really feel the pressure of it because I have to have my report done by the 31st. But I don't want to go throw a bunch of numbers in there and then create a storm of
Of a century.
It's just a hypothesis.
invest a lot of time.
This is
We've already
not-
invested a lot of time in
this
this.
is not-
And as we always tell the public, the proposed budget can change. The
Exactly.
proposed tax rate can go down. So, I mean, we say that every year during the budget process when we start meeting in August. So,
It's gonna be less than
Just a
three
wish
seventeen,
list.
273. It's gonna be less than that because we're taking out 2 units.
I personally believe, based on what I know about the budget, but I've said it on every meeting for them, well, not every one of the meetings, but most of the meetings that require spending money. I think we can do as long as everyone's okay with the idea of financing the equipment, and spending the 4.5%, 4.99%. I believe there's enough money in there to support all of this that we're discussing here on some type of a 5-year plan. What the net number is going to be, I guess it would be discovered once Tammy shows it in her spreadsheets and gets it out the door. And the reason why I say that is there's one other line item that we've left in the agenda that I asked the sheriff's department to put in their agenda, into their budget, which was for this animal recovery for dogs in the county. So, I don't know how it's in there because we heard the public saying that they wanted it. But is that more important? What's the level of how do you view the importance of recovering strays as opposed to investing it in roads, for example? So I think when we get down to those discussions, or it'll be a tough decision for me to make. I'll just say this from my budget standpoint, when I know that the roads are in bad shape and people, I think rather have roads than have a $110,000 or $20,000 a year line item for animal recovery.
I would also recommend a yearly payment, not monthly. Yearly work out pretty good, don't think.
yeah, most of
You
most
mean on the animals? I was probably not. No, it has a whole contracting metrics with it. But I think it's neat? I sure do. But when you're managing a budget, you have to decide which one's more important. So.
And but even with talking to the bank, we still need to get a quote from Government Capital. We don't need to go out for bids on this because it could possibly not go over like $100,000 for like the interest part of it, like it did with the radio towers and everything. That was a lot more money, so we need to go out for requests for proposals for that. But we need to check with Government Capital. I've received an email from another company that wanted to finance for us. I'll have to dig out that email and, of course, get with the bank like you were already talking about. So,
One of these quotes had a provision that said, I'm looking for it here. If for any reason the account, Huh?
ASCO. If you didn't have budgeted for the next year or your budget ran shortfalls, you could come out of the term.
right,
And
with
it
no
not
penalty.
penalize you.
And there's no hourly limit on usage. From what I remember reading.
That's enough.
So there's options to make it all work. Which it's not quite as good as a rental, but it's almost as good. If you had to walk away from it, you didn't want to do it anymore. But
Coming up with $317,000 this year.
if he can only do 7 miles a year and there's 218 miles of road, or 228 miles of road,
262.
261.
262.
262.
And that's fixing to change too, I think.
I thought it's 218 of paved
Yeah,
road.
it is.
What's the paved road?
Paved road is 220 miles.
220 miles. 220 miles a year of paved roads. If you took that and divided it by 70 miles, you know, we're
We'll all
talking.
be dead.
So even dedicating,
And if you're doing that much, what you fix first, you can't go back till you get to the end. Or you're
Right.
behind, you're behind again.
Yeah, you didn't get it completed.
Yep. You gotta come back to number one.
The other capital expense Ronnie had asked for in our department discussion was the grappler for what piece of equipment?
The excavator.
The excavator. It's just under 20,000. If y'all want him to explain that one, it's,
Grapple.
you want to explain that?
You
to
have
me?
enough in your budget this year, right? To buy the grapple?
No.
Oh,
We've been dipping into that one. We've been dipping into our little areas where we can pull money right now.
So do you want to give a brief explanation on the
Okay, so what
grappler?
that unit is, it'll help us with storms, which we always have, trees, which go across the road, which we always know happens. This thing makes light of that. The one I'm thinking of is on 2440. We took that tree and was done within 4 hours, and that was one of those 2 backhoe, all day, half crew, if not all crew, and we got it done in 4 hours with the grapple. Well, with the excavator that has the claw on it, but the claw wasn't strong enough, so this is where the grapple will come in. But we've already seen that it's going to cut our time in half when we're dealing with these trees that are down from the storms, and then we can pick them up and get rid of them in the same time, so we don't have to come back and get those tree nuts, because you see it in the county on your roads. You've got a lot of debris, got a lot of trunks, got a lot of limbs from the storms, and this is gonna help that exponentially.
Because I've gotten several calls on trees that'll lay up from we're trying to get to them,
Trying to get to
but they're big trees.
So for Road and Bridge at this time, no changes other than getting the numbers on the increase in cell phone allotment for everyone that receives the cell phone allotment.
the IT also, is that gonna come out of IT, or is that gonna come from us with the data, analyzing vehicle diagnostics? J-Pro, is it not? on
For the
there?
Tough Book,
Yeah, for the tough.
that's out of
That's
this.
a tough book, we gotta have that.
That's out of this year's budget.
well, you're going to have a yearly maintenance on there. Hold on just a second. Let me-
Because that's gotta be a yearly
Grapple
installment.
coming out of
Software. So
I think I did up your software computer repair. Let's see,
we're gonna
not
repair the
computer repair.
cruisers right along with our vehicles.
Or do you remember where the grapple was coming out of?
Increased it to 7,000. That'll cover your iWorks, your all in the Tough Book stuff. Because I called Corey yesterday and asked him the dollar amount. So that should cover
Into
it.
the vehicles, remember? He said he was gonna
Yes.
show this budget.
This budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the-
So that's already in there.
Or you want to?
Thank you.
Hold on.
Well, the way I feel about it is I'd like to take out the 200,000 and bake in the lease cost for whatever this equipment is, and then add the money that's necessary to go do the ditches.
Okay.
Because I've
You talking about adding a couple of guys too?
three people.
3?
That's what we discussed this morning. You said one operator and 2 drivers.
Okay. Hold, please.
That's a yearly.
Okay.
I
So
gotta
when,
say,
when
that's
we
a
talk,
yearly cost.
Well, it's a yearly problem.
when we talked, we were talking about 3 people, and you did mention $32 an hour with all the benefits. And yes, that is an accurate figure. So is that what we're still talking about?
Yeah, for the,
What's gonna
for the
change?
new
You
guys.
They ain't gonna get better.
No.
targeted
We
ditch
ain't
work.
gonna get 262
Okay.
ditch work up.
And I think you'll see a sample of it. If you want to see a sample of that, go to Hunt County and Precinct 3. I think that's where the road maintenance crew is now. They have 2 tandem axles, bobtails, and an excavator. And that's what they do. We go to the whole county and Hunt County. And that's what that crew does. They don't do patching, they don't do anything
They
else.
just do ditches.
They just do the culverts and the ditches.
And to somewhat put this in perspective for anyone that's listening that's outside this room, that man right there, and just the precinct that I live in, has cut down more trees and left them on the side of the roads than anyone else in this county ever thought about doing. And you guys drove that the other day, and Jeremy told me the trees are still there. They haven't been picked up. You know, so our commissioners are doing what they can to help. But that's clogging up the ditches, and it's driving Corey Young crazy. So apparently it's happening in his district too, right? So
I've had several calls on those big trees in the ditches.
Yes, sir.
That we just get started clearing them and have another storm, pile up more and try to go back
Still,
down.
where you were, there was about 30 trees on that one little area.
Yeah.
That was a down
Right there in that one spot. Yep.
now what we could do is Commissioner Northcutt could run the skid steer because it's air conditioned.
I could.
She recruit John, you know.
Jeremy could run the
Yeah.
whatever that thing is.
Excavator,
Basically,
mower max,
Maintainer.
the mower max.
Wait a second, you better check with Ashland, man. See
Yeah.
exactly what your status is.
How about this? You're almost out of money this year, right?
We're about 75, well, 60, and then we're gonna rat home and put some money somewhere, put some more stuff.
So we got 2.5 months left of the fiscal year.
Basically.
So if you took a month of that, you're down to your stuff that you got to do with no money, which could be cleaning ditches and picking up trees and all that kind of stuff. You could have a test run of how long it takes you to do a mile of ditch work or whatever. We could feel it out by the end of the year. There's 262 miles of roads, but there's not 262 miles of ditches that need to be cleaned out. There's, I don't know, a quarter maybe? No, I'm just spitballing, but
No idea.
Maybe.
This is rough average. This is just not a total. 3 employees would cost approximately $201,164, give or take a few dollars. I just did a quick rough estimate on that. So, y'all want that added in?
Come up with
I came up with 180.
That's
I
right.
came up with $250,000.
Just look at it,
250.
see what we got.
Their loaded cost was $32 an hour.
Good.
Well, and would you want to increase your overtime because you're going to have more employees?
About 250. But it's a good idea to test run it. See.
Believe me, we're gonna keep it over contained.
Well, if there's 262 miles of road, and 25% of them are bad,
Flexible schedule.
and then you divide that by 7, that's 9 years.
You need a night crew in the daytime.
I'll go out
If they
myself.
double it, it's 4.5 years.
And then not, you know what, you work this.
You're gonna be
Saturday,
going back.
Take money off.
They're not going to clean it up as fast as they
Well,
are.
you got storms.
You know, you got storms.
You're getting cut off.
At least that's a good idea to tell you. You think y'all could do a test run and just kind of see what it,
I like that, I always like test run, let's do it before we
see
put
what,
money.
see how it's going to go.
Okay.
Before we put money on it.
You have until
It's gonna start in precinct
the
4.
27th of this month to do your test run.
That's between you guys.
Okay.
My report's due on the 31st.
So if you want those 3 employees in there, are we lowering road materials? Are we lowering anything else? Do y'all want me to tell you what the wish list is added up to?
Yeah,
$564,000. That is before adding in the increase on 0% raises.
But we're backing out the $200,000 for the equipment.
Okay.
yeah,
We're
the
backing out.
equipment, that's nice.
Okay. What about the lease purchase payments? Because we're gonna have to fund that from somewhere then.
Oh yeah, you don't have the lease
That
purchase
shit
budget.
covered the truck too.
No, because that's where I was holding the
And the truck,
200,000.
right.
Hold on, just
Oh, you're
we've got
right.
way too many conversations going on. I can't listen to everybody. Sorry. Okay. The 200,000 was to hold in place of the lease purchase payments.
Right.
So that's what that was. So if you're going to add 3 people, you're adding an extra 200,000.
Yes. And then you can back out 120 from the animal catcher.
So take away the animal catcher on the sheriff's department.
As far as I'm concerned, you good with that, Sheriff?
I
I actually put it in there. So
statutorily, like,
You just decided
Well,
not to do
the
business.
problem is that statutorily, there's laws we have to follow. The problem is we have no resources.
I'm sorry, there was just way too many.
No, I'm sorry.
We go out to fall where the guy got $8,000. With the owners for the dogs, that's his walking.
Which we can bake that back in the budget. We can put in.
No, what I'm saying is that it's rare, but it's nice to have. We get a lot of animal calls. I mean, it's there. When you report sharing the animal calls you get. And what we tell people now, like, our animal resources. We had a search warrant on a house that had a bunch of dogs that were being starved, and we said, the thing is, we got $100, so we can see the dogs were on that.
Hmm.
Take them to my house and take the sheriff's office. So, I mean, there's problems all over the county.
Okay, you had 117 for animal control under contract labor, so reduce, and
127, 116.
yes, but 117 of that, 20,000 of it is the evidence room, 117.
Oh yeah,
for
take
the
that
animal.
117,600.
Okay. So that'll cover half of that for addition for the road and bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and do that.
Since precinct 1 didn't get a new road
Yeah.
this year, I make a motion that we start the
You can
ditch
also
project
take
in
the-
precinct
on the
1.
constables, we'll just find out.
I'll even
Monday,
volunteer,
Margaret,
I'll volunteer to be on the crew.
I'll refer you to Corey, Commissioner Young.
He's not
He's the
here.
one that's brought this to the court's attention.
We're drawing straws. We're just drawing straws.
Well, you want me to be in a hot seat, yeah.
Well, here's the deal. We can put it.
I'm still ahead of him because my precinct one had all the trees down.
That's true.
It's not like y'all can't mix it anyway. If I put it in there, all my goal is just to get a budget that I think I like, that I hope that you guys like. I mean, I want it to be a consensus,
So
but
that's why we're kind of
yeah, we're
working
thinking
on
about
that
it.
together.
Yeah.
I hope
If
I'm
you don't
with
like
you.
it after January the 31st,
Hey, Ronnie,
get your dart gun out and start
in all
shooting.
seriousness, what if every,
Hey,
you
what?
challenge each one of us commissioners to go out and assess the trees and what we think and bring it to you. And then you can do what?
You're supposed to do that in roads.
Well, I know, but what if we brought you something on paper?
That would be lovely. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a challenge to each one of us.
I
Okay.
concur.
Okay.
What are you going to bring in on paper?
We're gonna assess our own roads in our precincts.
Oh yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Now.
That way that would help him know what all, and then he can determine which one's the
And then
worst.
put a priority list and then,
Priority list, there you
all
go.
four of us prioritize the whole county.
That's what constituents expect out of us, so.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So, kind of back to another thing a little bit. We went ahead and put 8,000 in, for radios for the constable. Does that need to get backed out, or are we gonna leave it in there until we hear from Christie?
I don't know, what grants are available. Yeah, actually, I do. There will be a grant opening in December, grant called that you can apply for radios, but you wouldn't be getting them. But his current radios will work on the new system.
Okay.
So,
So take out the 8,000 on the constable radios.
I'm going to leave it in.
yeah, I hate to take it
Okay.
out because you're not.
Well, I want to leave it
you're
in.
not-
I mean, those guys are. That was a spooky deal, just doing that rip where there's no cells, where
Yeah.
there's no radio.
That happens all the time.
That's a lifesaver.
I wouldn't take it out until, because the grant's not your thing.
Okay.
We can apply
He needs
for
to
it.
really have two of them in there because he has two
Right.
officials.
And $8,000 is not going to pay for 2 radios and two handheld and 2 in-car radios. That's not gonna be enough
They
money.
need to double it.
Well, you can get a cheaper radio for side merchants, like leasing services, because the ones we got, Wi-Fi, AT&T, all that stuff, you can get a cheaper version. I still think the portable, cheapest one we got is $5,000.
Portable?
Portable is $5,000.
That's just the radio, it's not an in-car radio.
Well, he doesn't have portable radios now.
Oh, they have
Constable?
radios?
The constable?
They
Does
should.
He does?
They should. Now, I will tell you this, with Tico doing the new audit they're doing, that's gonna be required. They're gonna be required to have,
Oh, then just tell us how much we need to add for 2 radios.
if y'all have said the requirements to Article 211, Tico's gonna require, y'all need to look at them, because those things that say they have to be funded.
Okay, then how much do we need?
I wanna say,
40,000.
I don't remember exactly, I wanna say around 26 for two in-car and two handheld, but I could be wrong. Let me just send you the book.
Well, then, let's go ahead and leave that in there because he's only requested 60,000 for a vehicle. That's not gonna upfit a vehicle as well either, so let's go ahead and leave this numbers
Actually,
in
he's got a
here.
bid for 63,000
That's not including, was that including the upfitting?
Yeah.
Okay, ooh, okay,
from Dodge.
Oh, he's already buying those pre-made ones, that's already outfitted and everything.
okay.
Sure.
There's also 7 vehicles in point that they need to sell, so.
Okay. But for
Just putting
just
that out
budgetary
there.
purposes right now,
just
go ahead and
saying,
leave these
they
in
need
here
to sell.
because that line could possibly go up, that line will,
Got that.
yes.
Yeah, they're in local agreement too.
So-
You're right.
Exactly.
Finance, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Let's
So
leave that. I like
for
that.
right now, let's leave that in there. Okay.
Um,
63,000.
Judge, what I would encourage Alan to do is reach out to George Arnold, the guy we use from Motorola, and get an accurate quote from him, that way he knows.
We'll do it.
So commissioners, Judge and I just had a little, we're gonna go ahead and leave the capital improvements for the constable in there because the price of the vehicle will go down when we finance, but the cost of the radios could possibly go up. So for right now, for just a place marker, we're gonna leave those figures in there for right now. And then we can change them as we need to. Okay. Back to the other. All right. Any other things for Ronnie that y'all can think of?
When you're talking about on the animals, that the money you had appropriated for it, but only 100 and something thousand as far as animal control, but there's, I can see his point on it. If they go out on them, then they're engaged with them, then they gotta do something with them.
Right,
So
so you
it's
need
gotta
to
be,
give
it's
some,
gotta be a total, you're gonna have to have
well,
a
that,
complete package before you could do it.
see, that service that we found, the 117,000,
That was a private vendor.
that's a private vendor, and that's the minimum cost. If the number of dogs increases above a certain point, they start charging you by the dog, or by the cat.
There's a yearly
It's an
fee.
annual
So
fee. And
they go
it's
out
annual
and
base
find,
fee.
if they find something, is it for dogs they feel like need to be impounded?
It's whatever gets reported that doesn't have a collar on it.
Okay.
Like, basically, they'll pick it like a dog pound. They'll go pick them all up.
How many a year will they get?
I have to go back and look.
10 a month or something.
Yeah, I had the sheriff's department do it for me. Homeland's gone. Do you remember how many dogs that contract was going to grab?
I think there was a limit monthly and then you paid for it over that, but I don't remember the
Was it 10?
limit. That sounds in the
10
ballpark.
-ish? Yeah. So if they hit, if they
Yeah,
capture,
if there was a way to squeeze that in somewhere, that would be a good foot in the door.
all right.
I know it just keeps adding up, and it's going to just keep ringing. Ching, ching. Well, it's like at a supermarket. Can you put that
What's at
back?
the bottom of
I don't
that?
think I need that now.
That comes later.
Well, whenever I was gonna take the 117,000 off of there, so far, what y'all wanted to put in, and we're not done with that list yet. Is it gonna be that
Can you
figure or
leave
that
that? Can you
figure?
leave that one in there and just see if we can squeeze it in later?
I'm
What's
sorry.
what's the capital cost on at the bottom of your big spreadsheet? What is it, 900?
That's two of the biggest. The roads and the animals are two.
Let's see, I can actually tell you by doing
Those
it
are
this
two
way.
whoppers.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Currently, we are at 829,630. Like I said, that's leaving the 200,000 in there for road and bridge. You know, because we're either going to buy something or we're going to finance something, so that's still a place marker. Leaving the constable alone because radio costs will go up. The price of the vehicle will go down because if we're going to finance that, so that may end up being an offset.
And his
Little bit.
raise, he might be able to do the DR work to get that.
Well, he's just talking about capital improvements right now. So, okay, so total capital improvements includes,
But the 117 for the animal control, that wouldn't be capital.
Yes.
No.
Would it?
Gotcha.
That'd be a.
no, that's just in his budget.
that'd just-
We were talking about if we do away with that 117, I'm lowering the amount that y'all are wanting to add to payroll right now. We're just discussing payroll right now. So trying to get that narrowed down. We have nothing in miscellaneous department. Miscellaneous department in the past has included purchasing a building and the building improvements such as the Clark building and the Leader building. So nothing is in the budget for that right now.
So that
And
117 for his budget, that just simply just pays that third party vendor
Yes.
to engage in
Yes.
contracting with us.
so, right, I mean, if y'all want to leave it in there, we can leave it in there. Okay.
Well, is it worth doing the 117 and then just subtracting out some of the road material? Or where would,
Yeah, I don't know.
what do we want to pull out? Because it's,
Right. That's it's a tough decision.
So like I said, this figure we're looking at, I have not even added in.
did you pull out his 80? Or did you pull out the rental cost or the subcontractor cost? Or did you get
I get a
that?
lot of
No, not yet.
Those are roads.
14.
Okay.
I don't get any
Um,
cards.
So capital improvements, again, nothing in there. Let's see, for maintenance department,
I guess it's gotta go.
do y'all still want to have the historical,
Gotta make a hard choice.
I'm listening.
do you still want the historical improvements at 150,000? That we haven't spent it yet this year, but that doesn't mean that, because that was gonna be the windows.
Is that for the windows? But that's.
That is
We're
for
gonna-
anything that would be a historical,
but
set
we're-
aside
but
separate.
We're holding up on that till we get, till we meet with the
Yeah,
people and there may be funds.
but there's still gonna be some
because-
cost involved in that.
Yeah, because the way what I've seen walking around this courthouse is
Yeah,
it's a whole building makeover. It's not just if we, like, even in discussion when Judge and I walked over with them, is they were just gonna do two faces. They were just gonna do west and south. And those windows and frames, everything are gonna look brand new, and then the other ones are gonna look like they do now. And so,
But we
but
couldn't
then
afford
the water is
the
still coming in.
Well, even if you do get the grant, those windows are supposed to be resealed every 15 to 20 years.
Right.
So there has to be money there for maintenance and.
yes.
Right. Well, we want them. Well, from what I've seen and how long it's been, I'd say that maintenance would have to be sooner than 15, 20 years.
And,
These windows, they're gonna have to be addressed, to be repointed, repainted, and resealed at least every, I'd say probably 10 years.
There has to be some kind of budget for the courthouse
Yes.
maintenance every year.
and that's what, when Lori went to school, to some education last year, that's what they suggested. Set aside money specifically for your historical portion of
Yeah,
your,
to retain it.
yes.
Yeah.
So do y'all still want that left in there currently?
I
I
would
do.
like it left in there.
Okay. The other part, we have building improvements. We've always just put in 25,000. Right now, that is where all the air conditioner replacements. Jim did a really good job of spending that this year now.
So
So
didn't spend it all.
almost. You're getting close.
I got what, 15, 16,000?
I'll have to go back and look. Do we still want to leave that at 25,000? Because, like I said, that's primarily my time here. That has been air conditioner replacement costs.
I can just tell you, looking at that, it's just a matter of leave that in there.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's what kind of doing. Okay. Of course, the constable, we just discussed the constable. We're going to go ahead and leave those dollar amounts in there for a placeholder. Jail corrections. Let's see. Sheriff, I've got so much going through my head. Okay, we got 25,000 for equipment. That was for restraints and stuff, wasn't it?
Our problem is if we don't have enough restraints, if we had to evacuate all the prisoners for some reason, we don't have enough restraints to
Yes.
evacuate all the prisoners.
Okay. You've asked for another vehicle because vehicles. We just leave it at that right there.
That's the one for you?
That's one for the jail.
Jail. We're on jail right now.
I have,
For transport.
For the sheriff's office side, patrol side, we have two grants. One's 33,000 we got, and we have one that's reviewed for 80,000. We'll pay for the full vehicle. And that's for a third vehicle, only because if I don't get that $80,000 vehicle, then I have to release two vehicles. That's why I did that way.
Because I think when we had our meeting, you had a jail vehicle break down on the side of the road.
Several times.
Yes. So,
Well, if we would agree to lease those vehicles that we can lease for 4 years or 3 years, that would give you potentially the money you need to pay for the dogs. As opposed to writing a check for them.
But if it's a grant,
You can't do it on a grant.
Yeah.
These aren't grants though, are they?
One of them.
The
Two are,
But this one here, the $75,000 ones, shut the jail's not a grant.
no, that's
okay.
And we're giving free rides in the new
not. And we got the new jail van back,
transport van.
so anybody that come out and look at it, I encourage you also.
Can I drive them around them?
You can. As long as you're a county employee insured, we'll let you
I'm
drive.
taking volunteers.
And it has to be, to transport prisoners, it's got to meet all the
It has to have
requirements.
a camera system in there. I mean, our one of the reason we asked for this van last year is because we didn't have a way to transport handicapped people. And we've encountered that a few times and had no way to get them back to our facility. So this is this handicap equipped, fully, it's caged, and everything, it's a camera system in there. That's really come out there.
Cool.
Okay, and then for building improvements, the 93.5, that was to outfit and repair all the shower, toilet areas.
To
I think
bring
y'all
it
know
state
the,
standard.
Well, it's still standards, but all our showers are leaking underneath the concrete, creating a mold problem. Again, I encourage you to come out and look at the jail and see what we're asking for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So that is our, we're just trying to, same thing the courthouse is going through right now. It's
Yep.
just built 1985 and it needs to go up to it.
one company was gonna come out and do one for free.
Yeah, one person's gonna come out and do one for free, retrofit it, and then we'll see the process from there.
Okay, so that's what that's for. Sheriff's Department for capital improvement, we just have 94,000 in there for the vehicle. We'll have to work out some of the details later with the grant stuff. So, that's all he's asking for that. Let's see.
All we need to do is have Elon move his headquarters here and we're good.
That's right.
No building improvements on the public library at this time. Road and bridge, of course, we talked about it. I did up that to 250 on the vehicle, but again, we can make the adjustments from there if we lease. And then the 19,000 and some change for the grappler that I don't think anybody had an issue with. I think y'all were good with that. And, we have 30,000 in there for computer equipment. That is where all the replacement computers come from. And we just purchased Road and Bridge a tough book out of there this year. And I have a little bit of money tucked away in the general fund for if people need some monitors and lower cost stuff for that. We ran up last year to 30,000. Jeff was very glad, and like I said, we've spent it. So Judge ordered new monitors for people that are easier on their eyes. So that is what the capital improvements portion consists of right now. So like I said, some of these are not hard numbers yet. Some of them are just placeholders because we needed somewhere till we can figure out where we're going to put it or adjust it somewhere else.
On the revenue side, does that include any of the for the taxes that are coming in for the solar project? Is that
No,
captured?
no. All I did was increase it by the de minimis amount of the $500,000. And I was going to get with Sherry today, and then when I was at lunch, I forgot I was supposed to go to their budget meeting, so I will get with Sherry tomorrow.
It's how much is their annual payment?
280 or something like that.
I remember about 300.
Okay, so that is not figured in yet.
So that could get us closer.
Yes.
Go back up to your spreadsheet and you added that in there.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Should have done that as a minus. You said 280,000, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the requests now are at, if we still take out the animal, at 166,000 before we add in any of these other no raise or a raise.
We're 166,000.
At 166,000, and then we'll just say, of course, if we did a 5% raise, it would, add 467,000. If we did, I already have the 3.5 in there, 386,000. Or 424 for a 3.5% raise. So I will resend you all of this as soon as after we talk. So don't ever save these documents because I will continually send y'all updated ones. And remember, no matter what y'all do to them, I still have the original.
What's the total budget that you have right there, or is it totaled up yet?
It's not,
Yeah,
I just have it estimated. Hold on.
it's on that PDF at the bottom.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom of that,
Well, close to the bottom. Well, I guess it actually is.
yes. It's just gonna give you like the differences and everything in those, but you gotta remember, I don't have everything. Some of the payroll stuff I had to add in for the transfer and in the contingency fund. But if you'll concentrate on the, let me tell you what page to go to, and you can see it better. I told y'all in the email.
Here we're gonna burn your mouse.
Probably. Okay, let me see where we're at. If you will go to page 60, you'll go to page, if you'll go to page 60, right now the expenditures are at $9,718,597. That is going to include the estimated transfer into road and bridge, library, and contingency. And I did add in zero pay raise in that transfer. So, but with the things you're talking about, everything's still going to change, and we haven't finished that page yet. So page 60, and let me show you the other one.
Will the animal guy do 5 dogs a month for half the price?
There was a number in there, but I don't remember what it was, whether it's 5 or 8. And again, I'm not saying that I'm for or against it as a resource.
So he wants it. I kind of want it too. Would you email us all the contracts? That way I don't violate any rules or laws or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I just want to make sure that we do what's best for the Franks County citizens.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, we're telling we have no resource for that.
If we have something's better than nothing.
Sure.
Because and I understand if you go out on something and you take possession of something, what are you going to do?
I will say,
Or if we got
Because you got a company that will take possession and
dangerous dog that likes to bite people, the only resource we have is to shoot that dog, which doesn't go very popular in Rankin County, right? So these people are trained in it. They take on liability as well, and they issue citations as well. They take all the liability. And they take
they even do the citation.
and they also are building a facility in Hunt County because Hunt County's on contract with them. So we want to pay for extras for that because they're tipped out on point.
Ooh.
But they're building a facility in Hunt County so they can just
and they do the same thing here. They said.
Yeah, and they do all the adoptions and all that stuff. They take care of all of them.
Yeah, that seems like a party.
The only
Because I
problem-
know to build a facility and staff it, that'd be $1.5 million.
One employee in a truck in the facility.
Yeah, it'd be $1.5 million a year.
Yeah.
We have the resource right now in Wayne County. We're just like utilizing it. Jeremy,
What did you
have you
say?
seen him haul that pig truck around? That pig truck?
Oh,
But it
the
increases
truck.
insurance.
I thought you was going to say
He's
something.
a trapping dude.
Just
Yep.
caught 14.
Page 20 on the PDF report I sent will have the total estimated revenues. And then page 60 has the total estimated expenditures and then the difference. That's where I told you that I had the 567,000 came into play. Because right now we have more in budgeted revenues, but again, that is adding in the de minimis rate on page 1 of the ad valorem taxes. So then if you add in the 200 and something from the solar,
The 567 is the above what it was last year.
no, that is the difference between the estimated revenues and the estimated expenditures right now.
It's a positive.
That's a positive.
But I do not have, but that is
Positive's
before
good, right?
the dollar amount of the payroll increase,
Right.
even with 0% raise. So of that 567,000, give or take
400.
200, almost 200,000 is with 0% raise. 400 something thousand would be like, 4 and 5% raise. And then these other ones that we're starting to calculate out over there. So
Starting to nibble on that
It's
567.
without consideration.
Correct.
Discussed earlier about
Correct.
adjusting this.
okay,
I
so
got it.
do you want me to take, because I had minus that out, do you want me to?
Hit the floor.
Judge, do you want me to zero that line item out where I took off the 117.6? Okay. But I will keep added in the part for the solar farms.
Do you have grant matching still?
100,000. Okay. Do y'all want to move on with the payroll request? Are you having fun? Am I boring? Is my stuff boring?
No,
I live for this.
No, this is
I mean, we're negative,
Mhm.
600,000, right?
No, not quite.
You got
If you count that right
204,
there,
and you gotta come down here and grab that.
so
Yeah.
that being
so
positive.
we're 100 and something thousand in the hole now. Because we have a whole 567 to play with, to work with right now.
Oh, I see, you're right.
So-
Okay.
So then, one of these numbers has got to come off of there, plus whatever you put over here.
Well, just plug in 4% there for rounds.
Let's see.
Might as well get it all, just rip the Band-Aid off.
697,000. So we're 150,000 in the hole right now.
Right.
But again, it depends on what the tax rate's going to come in. I don't ever want to overestimate. So again, the judge and I talked about it, and that's why we added just the de minimis rate, because that would be
1, 2, 3, 4. We could defund the commissioners.
there's only one not here. Okay.
We'll leave him here to get blamed for it.
There you go. Okay. Let's see.
Do we,
Cleaning, the maintenance department, there's been some discussion about adding a cleaning person, but I think we have kind of worked through some of that.
The road and bridge department's gonna do the cleaning.
Huh?
Really.
You got a skid steer, right?
Yeah. But now that we do not have the remodeling projects going on, the maintenance department will not be focused on construction. They will be focused back to cleaning. So I think it was kind of determined when we had our department meeting talk for that was probably going to be a no for now. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody can clean their own offices.
I know some of them do, I mean, Shane comes in and cleans the floors and
A lot of them don't. I clean my office. I've done it myself. I'm on this one.
Pretty good.
We do need
I
to
can clean mine too.
revisit our lawn care contracting.
And I'm not cleaning the commode.
Accountability.
Okay.
okay.
Well, so we may have to do that to add on the lawn care to include the hedges and stuff.
Okay.
How much is that going to be?
Last year it was
20
22,
thousand.
21,
26, I
21,000.
think.
Ronnie, can your crew clean hedges? For $250,000 a year, can your crew trim hedges?
Hey, I'd like to.
That's a loaded question.
Okay.
What?
If we have the money, which I doubt we will, but if we do, can we, I wanted to look at the AED appliances again. And have a guy that's willing to bring a presentation on that.
Is that again? I'm sorry.
Have you looked for
AED,
grants on that and you said there wasn't
The
any out there?
AED,
Oh.
Yeah, there is.
yeah, we don't
got
have
a
those.
grant for that, remember? For the sheriff's office. What's that place called, Firehouse Subs? They gave sheriff's office, AEDs for every vehicle, patrol vehicle.
Oh, AEDs, I would like to.
Well, she was talking about for the
I'm talking
buildings
about for
though.
the buildings. And
Each
so,
building, each county building, public building.
Let me see that.
and the
We may
deal
have
is,
something for that.
Yeah.
the deal is, there's one setting in the library with the choking device. And I asked Bernadette, if you had to use that, what would you do? And in my own words, I would panic because I don't know how to use it. So I've reached out to a fellow that is going to come to the health fair that will bring the AEDs, he can train people for $95, but there may be somebody in the county here that can train us for CPR. I just thought in every building, there should be a couple of people that might be trained in CPR, know how to run those AED appliances. It's, you know, it's like insurance. It's a what if, you know.
Or can you get a quote for it
I can, and this,
before the 27th of this month?
the 30th of the, oh, the
27th.
27th, yeah,
I'll get it by the 27th.
yeah, I've got this, yeah, 27th.
Because I still have to put all those numbers together.
Perfectly like to have it before that, way
Okay.
before that.
Okay. Okay, again, for now, nothing, no additional personnel. Okay, fire marshal, that's been the word of the day.
He's not in, that's in there, right? It's 30 already?
No.
No.
Actually, because we've not officially, you know, done all of this, because right now he's pro bono, so y'all need to change it where he's an employee and also add the, expenditures.
I thought there was a 30,000 in the number for fire marshal.
No, not on the proposed budget
No.
yet. And then, the other part would be, the total budget that the judge and I worked with would be $47,338. Or 500, sorry, I gotta make that a little bigger. I need cataract surgery. 558. That would be the salary, benefits, office supplies. So what needs to be sat on now is, do y'all, which was coming up in the other part of it, do y'all want to set that up as a official paid working department? It would cost $47,558 at $30,000 a year, considered part-time, and let's see, no insurance.
Hello. What do you think, Lori?
So are we talking about going part-time, full-time? Is that the question?
This is, well, just trying to establish a what will we pay a part-time fire marshal?
Yes, because right now, they are a county employee with zero pay.
Okay.
So the department has been established at a zero pay employee and no other office supplies or anything like that. So to create one with, at $30,000 considered part-time with no insurance and that supply with office and needed, equipment and maintenance and anything else would cost $47,558.
So, meeting with the ESD president a few months ago, I talked to him about would they be willing to help us with the fire marshal, and the answer was yes. And I don't go to those meetings, so I don't know if Jeremy would know if they've talked about it, but I'm glad to go to one of the meetings and talk to Ken again and their board about helping us pay for a fire marshal. It's all taxpayer money, right? So, and at the time, I don't want to quote him, but it was a substantial amount of money that they could help us with. So, saying all of that, I thought maybe we might have some numbers before today, but
Well, let's park
what
it.
they could help us.
Can we just put it in at the 47,558?
Yes, and I know you were wanting to charge fees and stuff, so right now I have no estimated revenue in there for that department yet either.
We'll be voting on that here in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Or the revised fees.
Back to your AED conversation, the fire department could do the training for that, I'm sure. And our local EMT guys will do the CPR training if you
Yeah,
rounded
yeah.
something up.
They can,
Well, some of them,
great, for free.
I'm sure.
They have the equipment.
Got the
How- do you
dummies.
know how many people they could do at a time? Would they come to
CPR
us to
training,
go to them?
You have to check with them, but they do it for the fire department, so they can do 20 or 30 or 40 people at a time. The AED thing is so easy. There's like stickers on it. It says put it here, put it there.
push
Hit a
this
button.
and stand
Yeah.
back.
Lori's going to let us test it out.
Some of us can't read.
I want to test it out on Jeremy.
There's pictures on it, Lori. You'll be all right.
I need pictures.
Yeah,
as
it's got a
well.
lot of pictures.
I want one of those for my ranch.
Okay,
Probably
I'll get
wouldn't
you a
hurt.
quote.
Yeah.
Get you
That'd
a
probably be a
quote.
good idea.
Older guys, you know.
Just recently got one at church. And you remember they got like what they call refurbished ones, and a lot of it is people just traded in and they just needed new batteries to it. That is what I learned through,
Right.
my
That,
little
that
bit of
is,
experience
that is
on them.
something he said for us that we might want to look into that. And at the time, he was talking like 1,500 a piece, which I thought was
So Ron,
awesome. But I'll get a confirmed quote.
Do you have one at your barn, sir?
No, ma'am.
You do
Not
not?
that one, not the defibrillator. Is that what you're talking about?
You don't have that?
AEDs.
what we were asking is, could your guys, I mean, you don't trim hedges that frequently, maybe once a quarter.
Hedges.
I would just come back on our.
Ronnie's like, you have another job, you just
Contract
didn't
with
know
our
it.
landscaping lawnmower deal to just include all the county buildings, not the county roads, just our buildings, just mowing like the driver's license.
I'm trying to shove it on him.
I don't even think they own a
If we give you three people, is what he's
Ron, do
saying.
you have a lawnmower?
I don't think I got a lot.
Well, actually, the maintenance department before had hedge trimmers, weed eaters, mowers, they had it all.
What'd y'all do with it?
We still got it upstairs in storage. Oh, see, I done.
We're gonna send them out to clean ditches, I don't think they're gonna have time to. It's either or, I think, right now. I just want like whoever, when we bid out our,
I'm deleting a driver.
when we bid out our,
Take the driver, okay. Will you be a gardener now, okay?
Okay, he didn't want to do that.
They don't want to fall on you.
no, I was just telling you, we just wanna, when we do our landscape bid this year, we need to include some more buildings, make sure all of them get in the loop on that.
I was trying to get
On
him
that
to agree to
contract.
do it.
'Cause we've got more buildings now and more things, and
Well, we got
like
figures in there.
a lawn around this.
I didn't
Well,
include it, but I know.
Road and bridge trucks, with heat strokes and things like that.
So y'all need an AED down there. A while back ago, and I did not to include it because I just now remembered that Corey did have some kind of a quote on the ground equipment. I will make sure you see that bid. I'm sorry, I just now thought that it got buried in the bottom of my
We
budget.
bid out all of our lawn care and landscaping and stuff right now, right?
Well, they do a contract every year.
Okay, the meeting's in recess.
Thank you, I was right.
We'll reconvene at 2:54.
254.
You better have a potty Monday.
3:10. 3:10, we'll reconvene.
Okay, Jeff post call, so I'll.
26th at 2:47 p.m. Back in session for our special meeting that's called on that day with a quorum of everyone except for Dr. Corey Young, who's absent today.
Okay. Real quick, that being said, to add the fire marshal in, I went ahead and included the whole office in there and made a note of that. We will have revenues that we have not set yet, so that will offset that dollar amount at the bottom. So, and of course, remember that's with 4%. Type that in there. Oops. Okay. Next on the list, elections. We skipped around because this came in a little bit later, but y'all do have that in your packet that Abigail and I made up for you. One, Lisa is asking for a cell phone allowance. She does not currently have one. And as we know that she is one of those ones, she's a department head. She's one of the few department heads that does not have one.
Well, since we talked about giving everybody one, I already covered.
Well, no, not everybody. Not everybody needs a cell phone allowance, so you don't know. That would be a lot of money. We're just talking about raising up the ones with cell phone allowance currently and the ones that you are adding. So y'all are good with the cell phone allowance, though?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I will get that added in there. She has also requested to change her part-time to full-time because there has just been she's got some of the list in there that I gave y'all. She's got all the early voting election dates and everything in there that the state is requiring more and more. You've got to start earlier. They are even requiring early voting on the Monday before the Tuesday election, and used to it was cut off on the Saturday before.
I know
So-
she's got some.
Yes, so we've got, she already has an election worker line item that gets minimal benefits. Some get some benefits. If they work the early voting and work the whole time, they end up going through payroll. So we just go ahead and budget benefits for the whole dollar amount. That way we're covered with it and don't have to backtrack on that. But like I said, she is asking for her position to go full time, which would be at the current hourly rate, which if we do a pay raise and you would want them to get a pay raise on their current hourly rate, the dollar amount would be a little bit different. But currently $959,552 for the salary, $26,032 with the benefits, including insurance.
So additional 26,000?
Yes. If y'all want to get Lisa on the phone or something, we can kind of talk about that. If not, that's what we still have those other budget hearings for in August and up until we adopt the budget.
She's in conference today.
Oh, okay.
I know she did want to talk.
Okay.
About
So, I mean, this can still come up for topic of conversation. So,
I'm good with it because I know she got some
She has some surgeries coming up.
medical things.
yes, that's another thing as well.
Yeah, because she's going to be gone like it's, but she can't control it. So
But, it's just as the population gets bigger, there's more going on. The state keeps adding regulations and more in the
I don't know how she gets done what she's
Yeah.
done.
elections. For some reason, normally, in the county clerk, district clerk, the court process, those things certain things only change every 2 years. But in the election, they could change it at any moment and add other stipulations on there to do.
It's
And
crazy.
she would just like a full-time clerk. So, what are your thoughts? Add, don't add?
And
Add. Because we don't add, we're not going to have anything there.
There's a method to my madness on this. Oh yes, and y'all said add the cell phone too. Which even when I add this right here, this is still going to, it's still going to go up, but I'm not changing the figure just yet. So, okay. We're almost through this. County attorney, the judge and Mr. Vivito had a long talk about some things, so I will let you take it from here, sir.
That's not back in there either already. Oh my word.
Nope, not adding in the attorney.
All right, so he did have a subcontractor line item. Is it still in there?
Yeah, let me look.
Suffolk County vehicle, 2 phones. Additional cellular.
Yes, he has $5,000 in the contract labor.
I thought it's 50,000.
Just 5.
This is all I have. This is all I'm supposed to have.
Yes, that's all. That's all he submitted. This was talked after
Oh.
he submitted it.
Well, the story on this one is his office. He's working, in my opinion, too many hours, and with all the criminal cases and everything else that we're seeing in the county right now, I had encouraged him to add some help to his office, and so I could swear he had contractor hours because he's paying for those hours out of his He's paying for his hours out of
The grant, SB 22.
no.
No?
Well,
They did
the
get a,
current county attorneys are contract until the young man that he has hired gets his the bar exam back. So some of that is pending that. Yeah, he just requested the 5,000 on contract labor.
All right, well, then this is going to just be a complete add. So this will be for an additional part-time attorney to come in and help the DA's office.
At that current dollar amount, I did add insurance in that. Do you want the insurance to come out of that and consider it a true part-time attorney?
I think that was the whole deal getting here was that they have insurance.
Okay.
they have to
It's
have
actually
it.
it's
or
a
don't.
full,
They do.
it's a full-time person. It's a salaried person coming in with benefits.
So do you do want insurance? Okay. So I think we discussed like 30 to 32 hours a week.
I'm going to call.
104,449. So basically 104,450. And that would be with insurance and the other benefits. The current, whenever the young man's bar license comes in, he will take the place of the previous assistant county attorney full-time with all the benefits and insurance at 100%. So this would be an additional attorney for Mr. Vidito's office.
Does anyone have any questions about that? Would you like me to explain more about it?
So we'll have 2 assistants then?
Yes.
We'll have a young attorney that will be full-time as of September if he passes the bar,
That's the assistant.
the assistant.
And that is 100% out of the grant. That position is 100% out of the grant.
Oh.
Not this one,
Oh.
but the one that is already,
The other one's out of the grant.
yeah, the other one's out of
This
the
one's
This one's going to be on us.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that person there would be someone that comes in and handles all the courtroom stuff, while Robert sits in the back and handles bills and chases stuff down, then the assistant, I mean, it could rotate around, but the young man that's been hired would help prepare the cases and get them ready. But they're just too much.
Seems like they got a lot going on.
There's a lot of activity, and if as the sheriff's department grows more, not that it's not already prime, but as it grows more, we're going to improve on our. We're going to be producing more cases potentially.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers from last year, this year, I can put my budget report, just increase from 1 year.
21% more calls.
Yeah. So and then the cases are more complicated. Judge Northcutt has tried more cases in his area, in the area that he serves in, on trials than in the most recent past that he can remember. And as you know, Rains County's had two cases two felony case trials that have lasted. Fortunately, this one only lasted 3 or 4 days, but the last one lasted a week or so. So those trials take a lot of time to get ready, and then just preparing for the cases, the workload of going through what's been submitted from the sheriff's office over to the DA's office to ensure that let me back up. So the sheriff's office and the DA's office has the same requirements by the state with respect to that 3914 for the Brady laws, which means that you produce everything. And so that's part of their investigative effort, is to make sure that they have everything.
And something else I like to add too, I don't have the current numbers, but the numbers that the judge talked about a while back was since March, we submitted 50 cases to the DA's office. We expect one attorney to handle 50 cases just from the sheriff's office and county. City of Emory, East Walking.
They have too much to. Robert's up here working 3 a.m. in the morning.
50 felony cases, right?
50 combined
misdemeanor
cases.
or felony cases, but they're still require the same amount of work.
But every case, whether you're charged with a misdemeanor or not,
If it goes through his court,
it goes-
it's going to be at
it's gonna
least
come
class A.
through my court,
Class B's and above goes through the school. Any Class C's that
and
they don't like, they can.
But you have the same burden of obligation to all.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if it's Class C or a felony case, it's the same obligation.
I can see where the backup is.
Yes, sir.
and the attorneys want the defense attorneys demand everything. So it's a
That's the way.
it's a horse race.
Yep.
It's a fire drill every time.
And it's really, the defense attorneys have the advantage already.
Right.
3914, it just increased that advantage.
And this wasn't something I will point out to Robert's defense, Mr. Vidco's defense. It wasn't something that he really bought up on early on, so you won't see it in his initial report that he submitted. But after going through and thinking about it, and when Corey and I met with him, and after talking to his wife, they did decide they felt like it, and his staff, they just feel like it's needed. So, based on a little bit I've learned, which isn't a whole lot, but it's enough to understand the process for our judicial system.
They just submitted 50, then he's behind.
He's behind. Well, he's just, it's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of
A
work.
lot of work.
About 3 years ago, we were going through this debate on whether or not another county attorney or an investigator. He opted for the investigator, but as I learned from a county attorney in my previous county, attorneys can investigate, but investigators can't attorney. So if you get an assistant county attorney in, they can do some investigative work as well. But, it's like,
I can see that being
Yeah.
an advantage. That looks like the smart way to go. And the money we could save if people just behave.
What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Sounds good.
If we can afford it,
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as I said.
That's the problem.
we still have our work cut out for us, sir.
We do.
Okay, so at this point in time, go ahead and add it.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say so.
Because we're back at the million, which is where I said that.
Yes.
We're spar the whole out.
Okay, I went ahead and did all this calculation for all of them over here, so it's all set. Whenever I resend this to you, I will send it where it stops at this, saves at this
So
corner.
are we, so if we take, so where are we at right now?
At 4%, that's the increase, even with taking off the 280,000.
This is the increase above our revenue.
Yes. So we have 567,000 to play with. So we went ahead and did, that's taken off the 280 for the solar farms that I do not have calculated in this time. And 4% raise. Like I said, here's all of it with each one individually. And I did add in a 3.5%.
So where we sitting now?
At a 4% raise, we were setting at $875,795. That's including a 4% raise across the board.
So as far as proposed
But we only
expected
had,
revenue,
yeah, and that is taking off the 280,000 for the solar farm. So I do have that on here. We had 567,000 to work with. So right now we're behind a little over 300,000.
Or stated another way, if you just took the raises out, you're at
would be even.
462,000
Mm-hmm.
We'd be
or
ahead.
61,000
Yeah.
behind.
Did-
No, we
And
can
you
still be
haven't
behind.
factored in new property, right?
All I've done is add in the de minimis rate, because that is, if the voter approval rate does not need $500,000 for small counties, we can use the de minimis rate and get a $500,000 increase.
But we're only 300 in the red, more or less, as far as our budget right now.
Yes.
So if you took off the raise.
With
we'd be in
these
the positive.
add-ins,
Yeah.
with these add-ins, and you add in, like I said, the additional ones you were asking for that's not budgeted yet, it's $462,371. So, but if you add in a 4% raise, we're sitting at $875,000.
You don't subtract the 500,000.
I have not subtracted that yet, so that's what we needed to equal. If we equaled $567,000 there right now, I'd be a happy camper. But right now, that's
We're 360.
300
in the red.
Yeah, well, we would.
310,000.
But if we go,
Yeah.
without the raises, we're good.
Yeah.
We're positive.
without the additional pay.
Yeah, because the raises are 413, so we're
Yeah.
367 down. So.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and tackle this line, sir?
What is that one?
You asked for
I
that.
did. That's a stipend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, put it in there. That's what I told them we'd do it.
Okay.
If they wouldn't put it in, we'll have to do it.
Okay. The judge asked for the county attorney to get an additional, to increase his stipend from $12,000 a year to $18,000 a year.
Which is only $6,400 more.
Yes.
65.
What's another drop in the bucket?
Well, it's the principle of it. Yeah. I mean, all the other counties do it. And it's been withheld for a variety of different reasons, none of which, in my opinion, were valid reasons from a business standpoint to do it.
You work with them, so you know.
I do.
So you know what's cooking on that. So you
I
see
spend-
firsthand.
85% of my time with that man out there in a courtroom.
Because people can't behave.
Do you remember that the Jones
Unless it's budget
case?
season and I spend a lot of time with this guy.
You know,
I'm better wrong.
And starting with that one right there.
but remember the Smiths pay Rains County taxes?
Yep.
Half of your tax money goes towards arresting, housing, trying people. Half of the tax money goes there. 1/4 of the tax money goes to Road and Bridge. The other quarter is spent out over offices like grants, commissioners, auditor.
Well, the last
County
time I
judge.
looked, it was like closer to 60-something%. Is it just 50?
It's a pinch over 50. Like Road and Bridge is a pinch, but it's easier to say 50%, 25%. So
Where my head is at this moment in time would be to say, would back out. I'm not asking you to do this, but we'd back out the $250,000 that we've given for road material, and just give them to go focus on more bar ditches and stuff. Places that we can use our existing labor for without having to increase our expenses, and just see where we end up at. That got us to about 11 miles this year.
That'll get us,
11 miles a year.
that'll get us about $100,000 off of balance with a raise of 4%.
Yeah, they give you.
They give us about 100,000 off.
And to get to the
Right, Miss Tammy?
Yes. So, because I mean, it was 201,000 with estimated. I'll have to go in there and get the hard figures of exactly. I just did an estimate, so I mean, it's within a few, probably $200 or $300 on that one. That would basically cover the 3 employees requested, because that total was 201,000. If you take out 250 on road materials, that'll pretty much cover it.
And then if you bring in the 30,000 from the DR work, DR,
Can't still do
BO, BO. So,
Yes, if we
That
do,
would
yeah,
pull it down a little bit more. I mean,
we
there's
would,
ways to incrementally get there, but
That gets us about $100,000 off, so we're close.
and
And that's with the raise.
as we're fixing to talk about,
That's with the 4%.
yeah.
yes, that's what we're working off of right
So
now.
we're $100,000 off with 4%. Okay. So far.
We will have revenues from the fire marshal. And again, like you just mentioned, if we do the DR in-house, then we can make more than the little bit that we're making now. Our costs would go down.
Okay.
So, there'll still be costs. We won't get back 100% of those as fees, but,
Let's just back up to 250,
okay.
and then
Now, y'all got to remember, this is his proposed budget. We're still going to have other meetings, and y'all can change.
they can change it back if they want
But
to.
once we file the proposed budget,
I don't want to present a budget that's over budget.
right? We'll get it. I'll get y'all the numbers.
Okay.
But once we file the proposed budget, it takes a commissioner's court vote to change anything.
I hate to do that to Ronnie because he's worked really hard to get there. He's
Yes.
getting another 250. We're just moving money to another place to focus on something different.
Yeah. Okay.
How does that sound to you, Lori? Okay.
Okay.
Because you were on that committee with me. I think we're good then. What about the sales tax? Did you build that in here?
I did increase the sales tax because we are above what we have, but eventually, I do not know the date we are going to stop receiving the sales tax from outside of Rains County sales for Ivan Smith Furniture. Jeremy was going to work on that. I've been hearing it's going to stop since the day I started. I've been here for 5 years now, so I have a feeling that date is getting very close.
The other place we can get the rest of the money is that the sheriff has a $75,000 truck. We could finance it. That would give us a little bit of money.
Yeah, some of this is going to change a little, but again, holding some of those capital improvement purchases as a marker for some of the
Doing the
expense.
finance on the road bridge.
Yeah,
equipment
'cause-
as well.
Yeah, because it'll, some of those figures will change a little bit, but not enough to make it as budget impacting as what some of the changes that we've made here. The lease purchase, I've got to go dig out the lease purchase. The payment amount in the long run will stay the same, but the principal will go up and the interest will go down. And again, that payment will also reflect on everything, the work that they've done and the grant money that's coming in, but we still need to budget for the
And
whole
that,
payment.
and that included the animal control.
Animal control is in there.
Yes.
I think we're getting close.
Yep, that's kind of taking it and dividing it out among
Smooth
all the
it.
concerned people in Rains County. And
Trying to get a little bit here and there.
You guys also know too, once we get tired of running, that takes that payment away from Infield Towers, it's, $800 a month as well.
Yeah. Do we have an estimated end date on the radio?
I would not give an estimated end date, but I can tell you that everybody needs to be involved to make sure it happens, is lighting people up. So we've been told August, the 2-week extension, so it's gotta be done within that time,
Yes.
so.
I was thinking there was a time limit on that.
It's gonna happen soon.
Okay.
There's
There's a
actually,
lot of people involved.
there's actually stuff out there now. There's,
Yeah, they're moving forward. The biggest thing what we were last time they're waiting on is the shelter for the equipment. But you gotta remember TechStop's paying for that generator, the fiber back here to Houston, all the subscription fees, managing for the line on the top.
okay, well, that concludes the action item number, or letter A. Is there any other more discussion on A?
No.
Just before we move on, just from a pulse standpoint, with how things have been done historically, is this better or worse? Looking back on what y'all have experienced before, has this process been better?
Budget.
It's
Is
the
the
same.
budget how they've done it in the
Like,
past?
is that different?
Well, I said it on last year's in
Not
here. I
this
didn't
part.
get it,
This
but
part's about the same.
everything was done in here.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot better doing, dividing them up and doing them privately. So when you got in here, you pretty much had an idea where you were going.
Yes.
How do you feel
I
about
like
it, Jeremy?
Lunch was provided last year, so in a little bit.
True.
There's always one.
Oh, we didn't get lunch this time.
No,
Lori had a comment.
Lori?
Oh, I said, I feel like it was about the same except for the divide and conquer for the departments. That was a little easier on each one of us.
Yes.
But we're still fine tooth combing it, I guess you would say. But I like that. It's the only time we can ever really speak with each other. So.
Yes.
It's been a lot, and last year we went line item by line item,
Yes.
and we've done that this year, but in a different way,
In a different way.
but
Sure.
a different legal way.
I like it because it's more personal and
Yes.
easier.
Well, and, you know, last year was an exception to the rule, so if you wiped out last year, I did like you adding the commissioners being involved in every departmental meeting. I think the commissioners got a lot out of it.
well,
And,
one commissioner in each meeting, not
Yeah.
multiple.
Yes, thank you. One commissioner in each meeting, you know, split up the departments. Everybody kind of had one big department, and Jim got quite the education. So,
Sure he
Jim
did.
had more departments than anyone.
but yes. But no, this is how it should run.
I
And
would
it
point
gives
out,
the judge some help on getting a commissioner in different groups to get a little bit more soundboard.
right, and whatever, I will say this, since it's now we're in public session, but I've not proposed anything that wasn't discussed or spoken about in any meeting that I attended, where we were together, you know, two people at a time. So I've honored that to the fullest extent in every case, and I always left it up to the other person in the room, the other commissioner in the room, to decide whether or not we move forward or not. So in that sense, it wasn't me dictating or trying to drive the meeting necessarily. All right, so the next item on our agenda is to discuss and take action for approving the revised fire marshal fee schedule. I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
There's a second. The explanation behind this is, if you recall previously, the OSF fees were at the bottom of our fire marshal schedule. Well, the fire marshal doesn't do OSSF fees, so we saw that and decided to have it removed. When this is concluded, this make it so this is a revision to a schedule that's already been adopted by our court.
Does that explain what the OSS fee is to everybody?
Okay, we'll be voting on it next, but the OSS fee is a fee that's charged for the inspection of septic tank systems for commercial and commercial residences, and then a reinspection fee along with the modification fee for that septic system, and which is something that we're currently subcontracting out, and that's what the VRR is. That's what Christie's open. So, all those in favor of that say aye. Aye, that passes unanimously with everyone voting for it. My wife got on to me for not letting everyone know that we're voting for it, with one person that's not here, which is Commissioner Young, who didn't cast a vote, obviously. The next item on the agenda is to consider, similarly as the one above, discuss and take action on approving the revised OSSF fee schedule. I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Stick around to sign our Mr. John Henry on the resolutions. We'll adopt these and get them published. Anything else that you'd like to discuss for future agenda items? That's where we're at currently. Anyone want to discuss that? Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Lori makes the motion.
Second.
Jim seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming.